Hello and welcome, race fans, to another wonderful Wednesday night full of action-packed racing action here tonight. We're making some right-hand turns along with some lefts. We're at Road America out here in the beautiful Midwest, and this is going to be a fantastic race. We've seen some great times put in by some of these drivers, as well as we're going to be seeing quite a bit of action of people just trying to maintain it on that racing surface. So with all that racing action yet to come, we welcome you guys into a great broadcast, which we like to get things started off here with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back. As always, these great races are brought to you by D&D Race Graphics. That's Grafix. You can find them on Facebook and Trading Paints. That's Mr. Ricky Wittenberg putting in some time on those paint schemes there, and he does a fantastic job on those, so feel free to reach out to him if you need a car, truck, really anything with any flat sides, man. He can do a heck of a paint job for you, so be sure to go and look that up. But not only that, but his real life world business of Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. You can call Ricky at 423-444-0454 if you're looking to buy or sell your house in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country. Give Ricky a call and he can help you personally or get you in touch with a good realtor in your area, because this housing market, man, it is crazy. Don't do it alone. Get yourself a good quality realtor. As always, I'm Alan Brown, and I am joined in the booth by Mr. Alan English. Alan, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, man. I know a lot of people were looking forward to running this race. We've talked to a few drivers. So, and of course, you see a couple of standout drivers that are top of the leaderboard right now as far as practice times go. 4 miles, 14 turns. It's going to be hairy out there, especially the parts of the track I'm going to be paying special attention to are the over the top of the hill sections. That's where all of the suspension is going to get unloaded on the race car, and you're going to lose all of your downforce. You got to be real easy on that wheel, not make any abrupt direction changes with that wheel, because you can sure lose traction in a hurry, end up in the dirt or the gravel pits. So I'm going to be watching those sections the most tonight, I think.
Man, you are not kidding. And someone who's going to be taking a good look out there, watching the dust fly from all the off tracks, that's Mr. Adam Turner. I know, Adam, you're not too big on the right-hand turns, but man, talk about a fantastic track to come racing at.
Oh, sorry, you caught me mid-sip there. Yeah, I have to have a little extra cold one just because I can't really deal with this right turn stuff. I'm not real familiar with it. I don't understand it except for when you're driving on the streets. You know, I can deal with it here, but in racing, this is a little crazy. Well, we're gonna have fun tonight. No incident points, so there'll be no penalties for that. 2 fast repairs, they're going to need them because these guys, I've watched them and they're not very good. There's about 5 guys that are good, and the rest of them are very good. And then 70% fuel. Unlimited tires. I don't know if this is going to play anything into it, but it's like 103 degrees on the track, so it's going to be a little slippery. But it's going to be fun. We'll make the best out of it, and there'll be somebody crowned champion of this track tonight.
Yeah, you're not kidding. As we take a look at tonight's race info, you can see all 14 turns on that track layout. And man, these drivers had to memorize each and every single one of them. But like you were saying, that track temp, I think it will come into play, especially in these harder braking zones. We're really trying to get that car woed up in time, but thankfully there is plenty of bailout areas, so I'm not looking for any too craziness here, but you never know. These things can definitely fly around here. But other than that, nice sunshiny day. Everything looking fantastic. Bringing us down to tonight's key to the race. And man, it's pretty simple. Just be perfect. Keep all 4 tires on that racing surface and you should be fine. But man, heaven forbid you slip just 1 tire an inch onto that grass and you try to accelerate or brake. Man, you're going for a wild ride.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride for sure. I mean, how do you get out all those ditches and all that dirt and stuff on the side? It's going to be interesting.
Dig through the ditches. You got to dig through the ditches, burn through the witches. You know how it goes. You know the thing.
I don't know that thing you're talking about.
Oh. It's a Rob Zombie reference.
Oh, that's an old song. Okay, yeah.
For you.
Wow.
Ooh, and just speaking of which, as we are just starting to get underway in qualifying here, you can see Mike Everidge there. That's coming down that kind of not so straight back straightaway and just getting some tires off the grass, and he went for a little ride, but able to keep everything off the wall and safe and okay. As always, we do have some people having their face cams up here tonight. We got our good buddy in the 48. Let me make sure I hit things correctly here. We got Mr. Jack Dixon racing with us here again tonight. Looking mighty good in that Cult of Chaos car, as well as the 285 of Greg Dobson. Let me make sure I click his name right. He's got his paint scheme going out here tonight, trying to put in some good laps here. Not necessarily looking for the win, but just trying to get that good finish. We also have Earl Evans racing with us here tonight. Let me see if I can't find him, if he's on track. And looks like I can't see him right now, but that's okay. And as always, we also have the one and only 81 machine of Jonathan Osborne racing here tonight as well with that face cam up. And man, he's gone all patriotic here tonight.
It's one patriotic dude. You just don't know, man.
Got a cool paint scheme. I like that. Trek dogs, patriotic colors, and flag, and all that cool stuff.
That's an American loving cat right there for sure.
Yeah, so a little bit over 2 minutes for the lap times here, so they're going to slowly start to trickle in as we continue this qualifying effort around. As we take a look here at Dave Hot Rod Mayberry, he and Albert Anderson were continuing to throw their friendly jabs over the week, and we look forward for that rivalry to continue heating up here tonight.
We love when the drivers kind of get into it, and because there's not a guy racing out here doesn't have that competitive spirit. You know what I mean? So it's always fun watching these guys.
Let's see some fights. Somebody get after one another. Let's spice this thing up. I mean, This Road America, where is this? Wisconsin?
I believe so.
Yeah,
think that-
they're pretty chill up there.
Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin.
Yeah, get about, 30, what do they drink up there? Like 30 old styles in you up there.
And about
There.
a pound of cheese curds.
Yeah, then they're going to have some fun. They're not going to be, laid back Wisconsinites anymore. They're going to be throwing hands, stuff like that. So that's what I want to see tonight. I want to see a little bump and run. That can happen on a road course. I know that.
Most definitely.
Something they had to do tonight is give these guys a few more minutes for qualifying. 10-minute session to try to get a couple of laps in, because it's going to be difficult. It'd be impossible to get 2 laps in.
So last night I did my normal test session. Yeah, I don't think I completed a full lap here. I just gave up. Why get a fuel window? I can't do it.
I have a feeling the fuel window is probably going to be right around that halfway point, 25 laps. But who knows? Some people might save some people might burn some. As we're riding around here with the 76 of Jeff Ottinger, and you can just see the elevation change. And that's not even the biggest elevation change on this track, as he's working his way kind of down this little back section. He's going to go into a left-hand corner here, and then into the carousel here at Road America, the Johnsonville Speedville, as I guess they call it.
Looks like he's put a few laps in here.
Yeah, it's Johnsonville.
Be one of your guys to watch today.
Yeah, Johnsonville brats, man. With brats go hand in hand with Wisconsin fireworks and beer.
You can just see him be careful there as he's heading into the kink and then down this not so straight straightaway. I think where we're going to see a lot of people have the biggest issues, because most people have practiced where the hard braking zones are, where you basically got to come to a complete stop to get this car to turn into those corners. But that kink, I think, it gets very narrow, and like I was saying earlier, if you just get a couple tires off or anything, you're going off into the wall, and that's going to make for a very long night if you use up your fast repairs that quick.
How many they got tonight?
They got two fast repairs. And the Kinks, that was an 80s band. I don't remember caring for them too much. Were you into the Kinks English? I wouldn't.
No, they only had like one huge hit. It was
Yeah, I don't even remember. I have to use the Googler. Use your Googler. I don't know if you can. You got
windows open.
Yeah, your bandwidth. You're taking it up for the whole neighborhood, from what I understand.
I think so, yeah. I do have some.
I'll do some research here. Let you know. Sorry, Brown.
Yeah, it's all right. As we take a look here, as Just Vaught climbs up this front straightaway here, hill, and comes down across the line to set currently the best time out there on that racing track. He's got, looks like George Rincon beat by just a few tenths there, about 4 tenths.
Lola, that was a good song.
Yeah, why did I think of 80s? Yeah, they're from the 60s and 70s.
70s, yeah.
Yeah, man, George's putting in some laps there.
Yeah, George Rincon. He's one of those guys we've seen him at these road courses. He's maybe not 100% the quickest out there, although tonight he's looking mighty quick. But he is definitely one of those guys who is very consistent, and you can almost bank on him not really making any silly mistakes that we'd see from some other people, and that's how he gets consistently top 5 finishes here at these road courses.
I need to start paying a little bit closer attention to the Facebook feed, because we had the Andersons all checking in. And then we got Russell Endicott telling us these songs. He said, yeah, they did Lola and Father Christmas and You Really Got Me Now.
Yeah, I underestimated the Kinks.
Yeah, I had a few. Albert Anderson said, I'll be taking the Allen English crawfish break at lap 15.
Ooh, crawfish break.
The season just ended. If you can find somebody sell you a sack of crawfish on July the, what is this, the 6th, good luck to you. You must know somebody. Or got
Yeah,
a ditch that's especially productive.
yeah. It's almost over, or it is over for crawfish, but that doesn't mean you can't make something out of the old crawfish, the frozen stuff.
Oh, yeah, I got a bunch of frozen tails.
Yeah.
Chan the Man checking in over there on YouTube saying, let's go Dixon number 48.
Yes, sir, indeed. Well, they're going to be doing a full lap of pacing for warm-up here before we take to that green flag. So while they're all lined up here getting ready to take to that flag, let's talk about tonight's starting grid rundown, starting us off with Jess Vaught there winning pole position. He's going to be on that inside line with the 28 of George Rincon right next to him in second. 753 of Jeremiah Burke. He's going to be starting here third with the 81 of Jonathan Osborne with a good solid lap time as well, starting in fourth. 285 of Greg Dobson sneaking his way up here into a top 5 starting spot with the 11 of Eric Klafka, who just recently got brought on to another team, I believe. I believe he is now part of Vigilante Force over there. So be careful for that 11. He's going to be starting here in 6th. You have the 48 Cult of Chaos Jack the Ripper Dixon starting here in 7th with Dave Hot Rod Mayberry in that 29 starting in 8th. Jeff Ottinger is going to be starting here in 9th for that 76 with Dustin Reilly in the 37 rounding out tonight's starting top 10.
13 car of Earl Evans will be starting in 11th place. And just beside him, Tony Polk in the 222. Who else we got here? Jim Ott and David Fight will be starting 14th and 15th. Deion Jones in the 4 machine will start 16th. Mike Everidge in the 82 starting 17th. Jason Arison in the 244 machine starting in 18th. 19th will be Mike Adamson in the 51. 74 of Robert Jordan starting in 20th. And rounding out the field, bringing up the rear, in the rear with the gear, America's driver, Albert Anderson in the 2.
Yeah, normally we have 30, 35 drivers. I think some people are a little leery of maybe testing out the road course, but hey, why not show up? You might gain an extra position or two that could help you along the way. So this is as much fun as we kind of make a road courses because we're oval guys, at least English and I are.
Well, not only
we still need to go out here and make some points, right, Brown?
Absolutely, and I mean, not only that, but you're also talking about team championship here. I mean, with only 20 drivers out there, man, if you can get all your guys stacked up there pretty close to, the front top 10, man, you can make up a lot of ground in that team championship. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at our current standings after last week's events. We have Jess Vaught still holding a commanding lead there, but Mike Adamson slowly trying to creep his way back up there. Timothy Pope as well, and Jim Ott picking up the win. Sneaks his way up into that top 5. Kelly Keel still hanging on there. Russ Kilgore as well. So it's still anybody's championship. Tons of time to go as we switch over to kind of take a look at how the teams are doing. The Limitless team still hanging on to that top spot, but Vigilante Force made up a ton of ground last week with a bunch of their drivers finishing in that top 10. We also have that Wicked Loose team hanging on, and Cult of Chaos as well. So just be on the lookout for some of these guys to maybe make some big moves here tonight.
Yeah, these guys do have a couple of drop weeks to use, but if you can come out and field the car and just, even if you're no good at these tracks, go out there and just ride around, because people are going to get knocked out. Okay, so attrition positions are available to be gained, especially at a track like this. So do your team a favor, get out there and just run a few laps and hope somebody crashes.
Yeah, man. I mean, why not? We saw John Ellis posted a picture, last year's champion of the championship trophy. I mean, get out there and run some laps. That's a cool trophy. Glad he finally got it. Posted a picture. That's really cool. So
thanks to Kelly Keel and his team over there at that metal shop. They did one heck of a job on that trophy. That thing's polished stainless steel. Beautiful.
Oh, you're absolutely correct on that one, as this pace car leads these guys down this not so straight back straightaway, coming up to get ready to take this green flag. As compared to your traditional oval, the inside on this these restarts, ooh, as I think that was a 221 at David Fight having a little wiggle there, going off track there, but it's all right. The inside line is on the right-hand side, as turn number 1 is a right-hand corner. So look for those guys to be in a pretty good spot to really move up those positions, and watch out for that accordion effect as these guys head on down through turns 1 and 2. But until then, here comes the pace car. It's going to be peeling off here in just a second, as there it goes down into pit lane. It took him a bit, but he eventually got there. So climbing the hill for the first time, getting ready to take to this green flag. Just fought George Rincon starting side by side. The green flag is out, and we are ready to roll here at Road America, in a good solid start here for all these drivers, heading off down into turn number 1. Who's going to be able to stick it? Who's going to be making some bold moves here? Looks like George trying to stick with Jess there, but looks like everyone getting through turn 1 just fine. Heading off down to turns 2 and 3, back down this hill. It's still looking good for Jess out there in front. Some shuffling going around there in the mid-pack as these drivers make it through turn number 3 and head on down through the backstretch.
Kathleen Anderson joining us over on Facebook, saying that's a different looking track tonight. You're right about that. I mean, we run a few road courses a season here at Vigilante Racing League, and this is one of them. You see a lot of open wheel racing here, a lot of sports cars racing here, but not too often do you see these stock cars.
Oh no, as the 74 goes for a wild ride. Robert Jordan into the first hard braking zone. Just goes onto that grass just a little bit, maybe a little too much brake pressure. Oh no, as Mike Everidge looks like he had a little bit of an issue as well.
Earl Evans, the same thing, into the grass.
Greg Klein joining us on Facebook, saying, tell Turner if he wants to understand right turns, try knock hill trial. I don't know that.
I'm gonna have to try that, man.
Knock hill. I don't know.
That's one of those fancy ones. He's a fancy road course guy. I know that.
Greg's a fancy boy, yes.
He is. He should actually be doing this race instead of us.
He's good.
He's very, very good at this road course stuff.
He is, as these drivers make their way down this not so straight back straightaway. Looks like Jim Ott trying to make up some ground here. He started way back there, like 14th, 15th, but he's slowly making up ground, trying to get a pass here on that 37. Dustin really, of course, Jim Ott being the winner from last week. And just kind of looking back through the recent winners as we get ready to complete our official lap 1 here. I don't think we've had any multiple winners yet this season. We've had a different person win each week.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Probably see one this week, I'm guessing.
Triple 2 machine of Tony Popes. The whole back end of that car is caved in. I think somebody must have hit him on the start, maybe? Or he was braking a little bit early and somebody wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, maybe. And I think I got a feeling I know who's to maybe look out for. That's the 82 of Mike Everidge's. His front bumper looks a little bit crumpled as Mike Adamson's making a move here on the 244. If Jason Ayerson gets the job done as they go down that back straightaway. Just fought, opening up a big lead already, about a second over George Rincon and Jeremiah Burke. As man, space and clean air and all that is going to come big into play here tonight.
Well, look at the 221 David Fight. He's up 8 spots. I mean, what the hell's going on with him? He's having a good run. Jim Ott's up 5.
Oh, as Jack Dixon goes for a little wild ride here. Let's see what happens. Going up the hill, and just kind of like you said there, Mr. English, It's where that kind of load transitions and everything, just a little too much on the throttle, goes out into the grass, but no real foul there for the 48 as he goes off into the grass again right before the carousel.
He's having a rough one. Adamson's up 5 spots. Albert Anderson, America's driver, is up 4 spots. So there's some movement out here.
Klein does say that that Knock Hill tri-oval is 0.23 mile tri-oval, all right turns with up and down hill. He said them Australians are crazy.
That actually sounds
like
kind of fun. Yeah, that's
Go-kart.
what we got, like 35 turns here. There are about 30 of them are right turn. It's just confusing
I
to
think
me.
Alan said 14.
It's one of those, you know how road courses are. They'll call a turn when there's not even a turn there. It gets all funky. As Jess Vaught sets the fastest lap of the race at 2:15.26. Man, that's almost faster than what we saw people running in practice.
And thanks to Jasper Elbry, I hope I'm saying that right, over on Facebook. Thank you so much for the follow. We appreciate it here at AAA Broadcasting.
51 Mike Adamson is in the pits. I don't know what he's up to, but
I saw a couple cars pull in there.
Albert Anderson.
Oh,
I think those guys know each other.
This might be one of those crawfish breaks for the Limitless teammates there, and we might see them come back out. I know at least one of the drivers there is not too big of a fan on road courses, and just looking to basically clear a penalty here tonight, picking up from last week. So hopefully, I think that's why Mike Adamson's coming down. I think he had a penalty to serve. But because next week being Charlotte, they really don't want to have anything slowing them down there, so they want to be on the up and up for that race. As the 37 Dustin really is way off into the dirt there. Let's see what happened to him heading down into that hard braking zone. Oh man, just not able to get that thing woed up in time, and goes for a wild ride into that gravel.
33 of Jess Vaught, fastest lap of the race, a 2:15.26. So those tires are starting to come in pretty good for Jess right here on lap 3.
Well, he must have put the man hours in on this deal. But George Rincon isn't that far off of him. Jack Dixon
in the tires
again.
Going into that gravel, and you can just see when you get stuck out in that gravel, man, it's dang near impossible to really get back going to get onto the track again. But does a pretty good job there, avoids any conflicts with any of the other drivers, and rejoins the track. Because it looks like Jason Ayerson is trying to catch up to that 222 of Tony Polk, heading down this not so straight away, and not quite enough there to really make a move, but still hanging on to that back bumper is
Salad Tony. I just like to say that. Sorry, Brown.
Totally
That's
fine.
I'm the nickname guy. Speaking of nicknames, the best one in the business, America's driver, is back out on the track. So good to see him back out there. Served his penalties back.
NASCAR has come such a long way in the safety department. And a lot of it is track design. I know this isn't really a NASCAR track, but we do remember Watkins Glen back quite a few years ago. It's been 30 years or so now since J.D. McDuffie passed away at Watkins Glen, and just a high-speed section of the track, and he hit the tire barriers, and I just seeing Jack Dixon slide towards the tire barriers reminded me of that when J.D. passed away in 1991. High-speed section of the track, and lost control, and I think he lost a wheel. Hit the tire barrier so hard that it just killed him. But they've come a long way with these runoff areas, adding all that gravel that you mentioned. Is hard to get out of, but it's there to slow you down.
That's the 29 of Hot Rod Mayberry having a little bit of a fight going on. He just got passed by the 82 of Mike Everidge. He's now got that 76 of Jeff Ottinger crawling up that back end. As Jack Dixon, man, he goes again for a wild ride, but able to get it back onto the racing track. But let's head back to Hot Rod Mayberry there for a second. He's got a couple new stickers on that car, and it's a fantastic hashtag that we support, and that's hashtag Thank You Lori. Who Lori Vaught is our fantastic race control here week in and week out, and just showing his thanks. The same thing with Jess Vaught. He has the same thing plastered all over his car as well, as she does a fantastic job up there in the booth to keep these guys under control.
It's like being a referee or an umpire or whatever. You're not going to please everybody. You're always going to have people upset at you, saying, it should have been a caution there, or should not have been a caution at this point. But Lori's doing the best damn job she can, and it's not easy, folks. If you've ever tried to admin one of these races and be so mindful of what's going on out here, it's not easy. So thank you so much.
What's really going on out here is Jeremiah Burke is having a really good battle with George Rincon. 753 versus the 228. They're both trying to, catch Jess Vaught, who's kind of running away a little bit with it. Not too bad, but
as Jack Dixon had another issue here, and this time I think he ended up having to actually go to the pits. Let's see what happened there. Locking up the tires. Oh, squiggly. Looks like he was able to wrangle that thing back under control. Let's continue to watch. And of course, when you make one mistake, man, those tires get really hot. It looks like he was able to slowly figure things out. Yeah, we still have some little battles going on out there. Jason Arison now trying to hold off that 76 of Jeff Ottinger. Both drivers getting a little tied up here behind that 29 of Hot Rod, still hanging on to that top 10 spot as Jess Vaught continues to lead here tonight. A solid 3+ second lead, and I'm going to assume he's feeling pretty good, and he's not going to be under too much pressure to really push that car here right now.
Another battle you were watching between Arison and Ottinger. I was watching Jason pass the 76, and now he's working on Mayberry in the 29. He's up quite a few spots. He's had a pretty good race at 244 Texaco throwback machine. Yeah,
up 8 spots on the day as Jeremiah Burke coming down into the pits extremely early here. Wonder if
he's got a problem.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's got a little bit of a problem going on, or whatnot, as Mayberry now trying to hold off that 76 of Ottinger. But who knows? That's the funny thing with road courses, man. You can almost never really tell exactly what's going on inside these drivers' head until that checker flag comes out.
Looks like Jack Dixon might be done for today. Oh, Arison off the track. Yeah, he said on YouTube just now, I forgot how much I hate these road courses, and he has disconnected from the server, so he's had his fill tonight.
Well, I was just thinking about the Numb Thumbs guys. Where are they? Did they even show up tonight? We got any Numb Thumbs guys out there? I don't see any.
I don't see any.
I don't as well, so they might be taking the night off and just enjoying this 4th of July week. We hope you all had a fantastic 4th of July weekend there a couple days ago, and hopefully everyone's still able to count to 10 on all their fingers and toes.
And Canada Day that we just had for
and
our Canadian
Canada
guys.
Day.
We have a couple Canadians racing with us, Greg Dobson and Jack the Ripper Dixon. Canada Day was what, the first, right?
Is that what it is? Do they just get mind bended and start shooting fireworks like they do down here? Is it the same, or what is their tradition?
They may be a little safer.
They're very.
Oh, what happened?
Man, Jonathan Osborne threw the kink and hard into the wall. He's he's gonna probably be coming down into the pits for sure. I'm almost positive he's got some sort of steering damage there, as that was a very hard impact. As at the same time, looks like Robert Jordan was having a little bit of an issue. goes off into the grass, but able to avoid all those concrete barriers.
Canada Day wasn't first.
What does that mean? I mean, it's Canada Day. I mean, what
Yeah,
what
it's
they-
used to be called
Independence?
Dominion Day. It's the National Day of Canada. It's a let's see. It says it's the anniversary of the Canadian Confederation, which occurred in 1867.
Oh. It's like 100 years behind us. We got some catching up to do, Canada. Our friendly neighbors to the north.
As Robert Jordan.
They do have fireworks. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they do. As the 74 Robert Jordan makes a pass back on Deion Jones there to get a position back after that mistake. Dave Mayberry still hanging on to that top 10 spot. Hot Rod's looking pretty good here tonight. He's been keeping that thing clean and on the racing surface, which is really what you want to do. Jonathan Osborne now just going to be coming out of those pits after getting one of those fast repairs done and get back out there into that action. And man, out of all the corners to make a mistake in, that's really the worst one, is that kink, because like I said, it's really narrow there and you will be in that guardrail quicker than you know it.
Average
around.
Yeah.
In the grass there. Yeah, we've got more in common with our neighbors to the north than you think. Canada Day celebrations include fireworks, parades, barbecues, concerts, carnivals, fairs, picnics. That's the same kind of stuff we do down here.
They do that everywhere, don't they? I mean, I'd hope so.
Albert Anderson saying, bad luck for you, Osborne. Cheering for you, too. That's Albert Anderson III's pop over there on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, we still got a fan of the race to give out, don't we?
That's a fact.
So keep the comments up. I mean, even maybe y'all can learn us something on this left and right turn stuff. We need to learn a little bit of stuff regarding the right turns. At least I do. Not you, Brown, as much as English and I probably.
As Jess Vaught still has that lead. Looks like George Rincon has been able to slowly start to chip away at it, bringing that lead down by about half a second, but still 2.5 seconds is a pretty good gap if you're Jess Vaught, really essentially kind of looking behind you and knowing you don't see a bumper right there directly in your mirror. It's a little ways back there. But speaking of Jess Vaught, he's going to now start to catch up to some lap traffic here. Looks like he's catching up to that for Deion Jones.
Yeah, it takes a while to catch some lap traffic here just because of the sheer size of this track being 4 miles long. So it takes a little while, but yeah, these guys are going to deal with some lap traffic.
Edwards around again. Almost took out Osborne, looked like.
He hit the wall a little harder that time, I believe, and Dustin really has manually disconnected.
Just locked up the brakes. Didn't off track it though.
Yeah, that was a harder hit there for the 82. Thankfully, there were some tires put up there, and everything's okay for him, able to get it back out onto the racing surface, but he will come down into the pits. As that little mistake with that just little lockup, man, that's brought George Rincon back into the picture. Man, look at Jess Vaught, almost Tokyo drifting it through the kink, able to put that power down to try to get that gap back up to where it was about 3 seconds or so.
Yeah, he's starting to lose some of that speed that we saw early in the race around lap 3 when he set the fastest lap of the race. Tire wear is definitely starting to get to these guys. It's, you know, I don't know how they practiced, you know, what their plan is for pit stops here, but man, these guys are really going to be screaming for some tires soon.
As they start to make some more passes here, 74 Robert Jordan just trying to figure out where to put his car to stay out of the way here of these leaders. George Rincon's going to be able to follow by him as well, heading down into turns 1 and 2. Believe it or not, 2 is at some point coming down that hill. and into turn number 3. Looks like Jess is also catching up to that 82 of Mike Everidge. So he's looking to maybe get a little drafting help here, because I mean, we know these cars can pick up the draft pretty good and get that little extra speed boost going down that long mid straightaway.
I want to put it out there too for Greg Klein. Greg, if you've got some insight and you want to come up here in the booth and talk with us a little bit, by all means, we'd love to have you. I know with 3 of us up here, we're still coming up with plenty to talk about in this race.
Are we?
But I love having that that extra road course brain up here. Greg's done a lot of endurance racing, and I'm sure he's done quite a few laps around this place. Greg, if you're still out there listening,
yeah, come on,
and want to join us in the booth, by all means.
Oh, as Eric Klafka having a little bit of an issue. He's able to get it back all gathered together. I think he just went off track just a little bit there. Doesn't look like he's got any problems with his car.
Yeah, well, we are almost to lap 10 out of 50. This is the long one, guys. How stressful is this going to be if you're going to race the whole thing? How much stress is it putting on your brain because of all those points you got to hit on the track, and then just sitting in there and turning the wheel so much? It's got to be kind of fatiguing.
Yeah, all the gear changes, and really one thing these guys need to start thinking about too is if they're wanting to stretch the fuel just a little bit, start thinking about starting short shifting. You could really save a lot of fuel grabbing those higher gears early.
That you can. As you can see, David Feit currently sitting on that 3rd podium spot, trying to hold off that 205 of Jim Ott. He was trying to break the draft there a little bit. One driver was on the inside, one driver was on the outside. And that's another thing you'll see these guys do, just try to foul up each other's air as they've got a car out there. I think that's Hot Rod Mayberry rejoining the track. Oh, boy, that was close.
Robert Gordon.
Yeah.
That was close.
Looked like a missile. You know, one of them ones on 4th of July that just kind of goes errant and then turns into a viral YouTube video? That's what it looked. That's what it almost looked like right there.
Don't pile all of your fireworks behind the minivan. Oh, the 204 and the 221 both spinning out. 205, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't David Feit. Looks like he followed somebody there.
That he did. That was just an absolute kerfuffle as they managed to figure out their way around Robert Jordan off track there, but going down into oh, so one person just goes a little too deep. The other person maybe tried to hit that brake pedal a little too much. 221 David Feit spins it around, but stays on the track as that 205 of Jim Ott ended up going for a ride through that gravel. As we do have Greg Klein with us here in the booth. And Greg, I know these Xfinity cars are a handful, and I know this track can be a handful. So you combine the two, man, you got 2 hands full.
Honestly, this is one of my favorite road courses. It just has a good rhythm for me. I really enjoy racing. Yeah, the Xfinity's a handful, but I mean, there's cars that are a bigger handful. These aren't that bad.
So basically what you're saying is if you were in this race, you'd be in the top 3 right now. Right, Greg?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't get to race with these guys, so I really don't know, and I'm not going to say that, but I mean, I would be having fun no matter what position I would be in. We'll put it that way.
As the 81 Jonathan Osborne, after making his mistake in pit stop, now back up inside that top 10, trying to hunt down that 244 of Jason Ayerson. Looks like he is carrying just a little bit more speed into some of these corners. I don't know if he took a set of tires, so he might be on slightly fresher stuff, but he is definitely climbing up this leaderboard.
Yeah, Greg, talk about some of these hard braking zones because, you know, especially if you've got an individual in front of you, maybe a lap car or maybe somebody that's a little bit more conservative, you're going to have a completely different braking point than that guy. You're going to be going a lot deeper than they are. We've seen that some already tonight with some guys getting rear-ended here. How do you mitigate that? I mean, do you just wait till you've got a better place to pass, or you know, do you try to go around them while they're in their braking zone? What do you do there?
Well, I mean, the heavy braking zones are your best opportunities for passing. I mean, that's what they're designed for. The problem is you can't really see your braking marker when you have people in front of you. So I tend to like get out of line a little early, maybe, so I can kind of see where I'm at, and then be able to get the brakes on time and try to get around them that way. It's really just vision.
Jonathan Osborne struggled to get the power down there, heading down that long middle straightaway. Let's see if Jason Anderson has an answer for him here. Doesn't look like he's going to quite have the run, heading off down into this very sharp and probably the most difficult braking point and corner on the racetrack. And both drivers able to get away just fine, as Jeff Ottinger trying to make up some ground here. Little mistake there, and Mike Adamson's able to squeeze right on by. So Mike Adamson back up into that top 10 as Greg Dobson's taking a quick trip through the gravel, and that is not what you want to do, especially on these older tires. It's going to take a while to get those things cleaned off and really back up to kind of race pace here.
And Kathleen Anderson asking us on Facebook, is this track harder on the cars itself and the tires? It's hard on tires in that, Greg, you can elaborate a little bit more on this, but I mean, it's really hard on the drivers because you've got 14 unique turns. You're having to shift gears. It's not like you're running wide open out here. You're having to do a lot of thinking, a lot of situational awareness, being aware of the cars that are around you and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a hard question to answer. I mean, you're going to try to manage your tires, right? But there's a lot of things to think about here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton, because you got, on an oval, you're really just worried about going fast and turning left. You know, here you got a brake well, you got a turn well, you got to accelerate well without abusing your tires at any stage. And sometimes you're doing those at once, like you'll be braking and turning. You'll be turning and accelerating. So it's really just managing your tires, try not to overdo it, really don't overdrive it. That's the big key.
And even go a little bit more in depth, I mean, there's trail braking and stuff that a lot of these guys are doing as well.
Yeah, that's part of the braking and turning. That's kind of the trail braking. So you're still on the brakes when you're turning into the corner. That's basically what trail braking is. Really easy to lose it if you don't do it right. You lock those rear tires up that way, and yeah, you're going to go off track. But it's really just don't overdrive.
Robert Jordan trying to just get out of the way here. He was climbing up the hill, and right where that transition is, as you get to the top of the hill, you want to be hitting those brakes. He goes for a little bit of a tumble and still struggled to get it back under control. He ended up just kind of stopping, resetting the car on the track.
Leader grin.
As the leaders are coming on into pit road, and Jess Vaught opens up an 8-second gap back to George Rincon there. Let's see what David Fite does here, as he's going to be coming up to that pit road area here in just a second. As I think Earl Evans also going for a little wild ride through the gravel stretch there. Looks like David Fite as well going to be coming down into the pit. So it looks like tonight's going to be a 3-stop race for these drivers.
Oh, that's interesting. 3 stops. We couldn't predict it. We had no test driver to figure that thing out.
We didn't have the Stig out there running for us. We had we had what we had. We had Adam Turner.
Yeah,
and,
not good. Bad combo.
Didn't work out.
You guys didn't message me.
Yeah, we should have had you do. I can't turn this thing right. I don't know what the deal is. This steering wheel I got, it doesn't like to go right.
Well,
probably all
four
the
tires and fuel for all three of the front runners here. Go ahead, Alan.
I was going to say it's probably all the dust buildup from all the left-hand turns. That's why probably you can't turn to the right there, Adam, as
Could be.
Jonathan Osborne trying to hold off Jim Ott here in that 205, heading down into turns 1 and 2. Looks like he will at least hang on to that spot there through those corners. But Jonathan Osborne, I think he's struggling a little bit trying to get that power down. And the traction in the rear wheels. Oh, as he goes for a spin right in front of the 205. The 205 able to come to a complete stop. Man, talk about great reactions from
Great
Jim Ott
awareness,
there.
yeah. He knew what was happening and was able to jump on those brakes just in time and get that thing to come to a complete stop. And luckily, there was nobody right behind him because, man,
Well, there was.
alive, Jim Ott slammed on them brakes. Jason Ayerson, 244, black flag.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. That's a long pit road. He's going to have to come back down under green. Got to watch that speed, guys.
Unfortunately for Jim Ott, it took him a good minute to get that car back up and running. I wonder if he might have stalled it out. It was just
I
a
think he did.
panic brake there just to get that car wound up. But hey, anytime you can prevent any damage from happening, man, that's a good result. I don't think a stall there would be too upsetting for that 205.
And he stalled it but didn't smash the nose in, so I'll take that trade-off.
As we take a look again back across this leaderboard, Jess Vaught out there in the lead by about 4 seconds. He then got George Rincon about 15 seconds clear of Jeremiah Burke. And of course, no surprise from any of those in that top three. All three very talented drivers and all put in a lot of work here this week because, of course, iRacing likes to follow the official NASCAR schedule and everything. And of course, they were at Road America as well, so a lot of these guys putting in all that extra time. Same thing with David Feit, who's up there in 4th. I think this would be one of his best finishes here tonight if he can maintain this pace. He's up 11 spots. Same thing with that 51, Mike Adamson. Due to the penalty having to start way in the back, he's up 11 spots into a top 10 8th right now as well.
Was it Road America or Mid-Ohio here a couple of years ago where they had that Xfinity race that was in the pouring down rain and you had cars sliding off every single corner, but they let the race go on? Do y'all remember that?
Yeah, it was Mid-Ohio. I remember
Mid-Ohio, okay. I mix these tracks up. Even though they're quite different, I still get them mixed up.
No, they're really not. They're the same. Let's be honest, they're just the same, okay? 14 turns, 400 turns, I can't tell. I don't know when it starts and when it ends. That's part of my problem.
One of those states I've never been to, I don't care.
Yeah, same scenario.
Well, the one thing about a road course is not something you're just going to show up and drive. There's a lot of practice time involved to be able to get around one of these efficiently.
That there is an Albert Anderson officially calling it for here tonight. He heard that crawfish boil calling his name, and he's gonna go ahead and just part ways here. We know Albert not too big of a fan here of these road courses, but hey, he gave it a valiant effort as Jess Vaught puts his teammate, the 29 of Hot Rod Mayberry, a lap down here as they come across the line for lap 14, now going on to lap 15. Gap for Jess Vaught still hanging around that 4-second mark. So George Rincon doing a very good job of just kind of maintaining pace, not losing any ground, but he's also not gaining any ground.
Well, and we're not going to get any cautions tonight. This is not a track where we're going to see any full course cautions. So to the drivers that have already bowed out of the race, if you want to come up in the broadcast waiting room and if you guys want to get interviewed, we're not going to be able to interview anybody under caution. So if you guys want to come on up, let us know, and we can get your take on the racing out there tonight, or the lack thereof, for yourself. But
We just need somebody to do a Noah Gregson, and that'll take care of a caution right there.
That guy's kind of wild, isn't he?
that was something.
Yeah, I do know that guy. That guy's pretty wild. I like that. A little bit of wildness, you know. Gonna have something crazy.
He climbed about half the field there.
Yeah, he did. You're talking about that race in the rain?
No, I'm talking about last Saturday.
Oh, I've seen that guy climb everybody. I like him. I like that style. I like the aggressiveness. Just take everybody out and pay for it later, you know?
and for the viewers out there that might be confused, a clining, that's an official term here amongst us, especially those of us friends who've raced for many years together. It's when it's a, you know, it was named after Greg Klein, of course, when it comes up and just dumps you on the last lap, or it doesn't even have to be on the last lap, Greg. You'll just dump somebody for a win. It doesn't matter what point of the race it's in, is it?
If you're not first, you're last. That's the way it goes.
That's the competitive nature that we love.
Yeah, very, very aggressive. No, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I've seen that guy do some wild stuff. I didn't know he did more this past weekend.
Oh no, yeah, go find the YouTube replay on that. He made a mess.
Nice, awesome.
Well, Albert Anderson wants to give us a shout here, so can't find the broadcast waiting room, so we'll just pull him on up here. He's in the driver's meeting room. Hey, Albert, it's the guys up in the booth. You got us?
Hey guys, what's happening?
Not much, man. I know you didn't run a full race tonight, but I know you're really looking forward to Charlotte next week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I started the races tonight's race. I had a penalty from last week, so if I didn't show up tonight, that penalty would have carried over to Charlotte, and I didn't want to go into Charlotte not being able to qualify and starting back. So figured I'd come in tonight, turn 10 or so laps, and that way that would clear my penalty, and I can go into Charlotte with a clean slate. I can't stand road courses, and I really can't stand this road course. So,
well, I mean, what about next week? Is there anything you gonna put in the lap times, the practice, and all that stuff, or are you comfortable at Charlotte?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like Charlotte. I like Charlotte a lot. I've turned laps there in Xfinity cars, but I'm gonna go down to Louisiana and see the Shaman and get her to clear Road America out of my head, so I can go into Charlotte thinking about a good race and have some fun. But I'm fast at Charlotte. I'm very much looking forward to it, and hopefully put on a much better show next week for my family and friends for sure.
Okay. You talk about Marie Laveau?
That's right.
You gotta get down there and get the hex off of this. This race course is something else. It's tough. I mean, it's just not my cup of tea. I don't think it's yours either.
No, not at all. I'm very uncomfortable in the car here, and it's a long race, 50 laps, and I don't like it, So big props to the guys who are fast here. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of practice time to get around this track efficiently and be up front. So hats off to those guys. But yeah, it's just road courses I just hate with a passion. I wouldn't have showed up tonight if I didn't want to get that penalty cleared. But we'll get them next week. We'll get back after it.
Well, so not only that, but let's just talk about this car in general. This being a change up from the previous couple seasons in the trucks, moving on to the Xfinity. How do you think the drivers are taken to the Xfinity car? I know it's a little bit more of a handful. It's a little bit more of what you might call a driver's car, but so far, I mean, the way this season's been looking, everyone's been doing pretty good with it.
I think the drivers have adapted well to the Xfinity cars, especially the ones that you would expect to adapt well. The trucks are a lot more stable, going through the turns. The rear ends don't step out as much. In the Xfinity car, the Xfinity car puts it on the driver. You really got to know how to slow that car down and know how to control a slide, because the rear ends are really, really loose. So, with a super loose rear end in a car, it really turns it into a driver's car versus a truck. You can just kind of sling it around. So, you know, you definitely got to have just a touch more skill for the Xfinity cars, that's for sure.
Well, it's good talking to you. I'm about to take my Federal 15. If you want to meet me down at Papa Joe's, we can shoot some dice, and you never know what happens.
Man, I'll tell you what, we'll order us some hot wings, we'll roll some dice, and we'll have some good times. I got my Saturday night special down in my driving boot here, so if anybody gives you a hard time, yeah, we'll have fun with it.
Well, it could definitely happen, man. Thanks for joining us. Good luck next week, man.
All right, guys, it was nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Man, the legend joins us.
The legend
There's
as the 76, Jeff Ottinger. Oh, goes hard into that tire barrier. Oh, man, that was not a good impact. I think he's okay, as I at least going to be able to limp it. He's close to the pit road here. It actually looks like that left side of the car doesn't look too bad, even though that was a very hard impact. So we'll see if that 76 makes it down into the pit lane. Doesn't look like he will. He's just going to stay on out there and continue to put some laps down. But while we were watching, or as we were talking there with Mr. Anderson, we saw some great racing action going on as Jeremiah Burke comes down into pit lane for his second pit stop of the night. We saw Jim Ott squeeze by some drivers, as well as Jonathan Osborne trying to get back up there towards the top fives, top fours, and maybe even try to sneak their way into a podium. Another person not really getting a lot of love tonight because he's kind of sitting back there in, well, when I say back there, it's due to the number of cars here tonight, but in 14th, that's that 222 of Tony Polk. Still has that rear end a little banged up, but otherwise doing it fairly well. He's one of he's the only one that officially does not have an off track as of right now. So Tony Pope trying to go for that clean driver of the day award.
Now, if we just had such an award, we'd present it, but I'm not sure
we should
authorized to do that.
Yahtzee.
But 8 cars still on the lead lap here as they make tracks around here. Mike Adamson. One of the drivers last week, he did have to serve a penalty today for some on-track and on-radio shenanigans that we were able to overhear on the radio. That thank goodness the broadcast audience didn't get to hear all of it. But yeah, definitely some frustration out there. We see it at certain tracks, and you know, that was kind of a surprise last week that we did have a few guys kind of get into it out there. But stuff's going to happen, and you just gotta try to keep a cool head. Wait till the end of the race. Go back and watch the replay. That's a very important thing to remember, because sometimes it might not be like you think it was. Go back and watch the replay, and it might change your mind.
Oh no! Hot Rod Mayberry going for a wild ride. He's kind of going backwards along the track here. He's got some traffic coming up. Oh, that 222 checked up just in time to avoid that that contact here. Let's try to get a good replay of
my goodness,
what happened to Hot Rod Mayberry here. This is coming down off of that not so straight straightaway. Again, like I said earlier, plenty of runoff space there, and was able to not hit any walls or anything. It was just a little tight to get back onto the track with traffic coming up. Oh, that 222, man. I don't know if that 222 was really going to make that corner. Again, you know, he could have.
He looked like he was coming in a little hot, maybe.
He did. So great job for him to get that thing back under control. And as we were watching that, the 81 Jonathan Osborne, I think he got checked up due to some of that shenanigans. Let's see what happened there. No, he just locked it up going into that same corner and went for a little loop-de-loop there. But Again, no contact with any wall as Jonathan Osborne now coming down into the pit lane here as we can...
Whoa! Go back and watch what just happened to Dion Jones in the 4. It's like he had no brakes, went straight, hit the tire barrier, and lost the whole front end off his car. My
Yeah,
good.
he's going to have to tow on that one.
That's
I
a
think.
J.D. McDuffie deal right there.
Oh, he got 2 tires off on the side of the grass there, and yeah, he just straight ramped up those tire barriers, and next thing you know, you're a teeter-totter, but you're perfectly balanced on that fulcrum.
He hit the brakes, but it was too late. He was already bouncing. The tires couldn't get a grip.
So
Oh, man, that was a hell of a hit.
yeah, Dion Jones with a big hit there, but again, thankfully, they, like you said, they've got the fast repairs there. I haven't seen really Dion Jones have too many issues, maybe a couple spins, but nothing crazy impact-wise as we catch up here with Jeremiah Burke after his pit stop hunting down this rest of the field. He's looking to make a pass on that 205 of Jim Ott here. Now, it looks like he will get him down this not-so-straight back straightaway. And heading down into that corner, everybody threw it just fine. And he's now going to try to make up 21 seconds, or as much of it as he can, to David Fight, as David last pitted with the rest of the leaders, Jess George, on lap 12.
Jess George, Paul, and Ringo. Yeah, Kathleen Anderson saying, wow, number 4. She saw the replay. Man, what an impact. Just put him on top of that tire barrier. That's not something you see a whole heck of a lot in this league, at least.
Nice, we got a little traffic jam there going through turns 1 and 2, but everyone able to kind of figure things out. I think people are being very conscious about where they stand and who's faster, who's slower, and doing their best to let each other by. I know some of these corners aren't necessarily the best passing ones, but still being as courteous as they can be. As I think we're starting to approach really the second pit stops for just about everybody else here within the next couple laps.
All right, Mr. Tire Manager, Greg Klein. What do you do on a set of tires here as far as Road America? I know you've run a bunch of laps here at this track and really love this track. Have you done a lot of stock car racing here? I mean, what's a reasonable amount of laps you can get out of a set of tires here?
I mean, I've done a lot of stock car racing here. Of course, I don't know off the top of my head how many laps, but it's all about your right foot. How much have you burned off those rear tires trying to get out of these corners? And, you know, locking up the brakes, things like that. It really varies on how much you overdrive, how much you take care of them. I can't give you a number right now. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I haven't raced in a little bit, but it all depends on your driving.
I mean, so much about corner entry. A lot of people, that's where they focus 80% of their time. I know I pay more attention to corner entry than the follow through, the exit, but that's very important too, isn't it? I mean, if you can't get power down efficiently and, you know, keep the car straight, it's all for naught.
Yeah, it's almost more important the exit, because that's where you can get your speed down the straightaways, things like that. I mean, what is the phrase? Slow in, fast out is really the best way to manage your tires and make speed at a road course.
Oh, the old slow is fast motto.
Smooth is fast.
Fast is slow? I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know. I'm fired.
It's slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, fast is slow, slow is smooth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Something
Good
like
with
that.
As
I wish I was in the stands here just watching this thing.
Yeah, it looks like Jim Ott coming down into the pit lane here for his second round of pit stops. Jess Vaught continues to lead here tonight. Is by about 5 seconds, doing a great job as Oh no, David fighting that 221, going for a little ride through the grass, able to get it back onto the racetrack, but that's going to cost him a good chunk of time. He's already got to try to make up 52 seconds, but he's slowly trying to chip away at it.
He's solidly in third right now, though, it looks like. He's got quite a lead on Jeremiah Burke in the 753, but I think Burke on a little bit fresher tires.
Yeah.
So I don't expect he's going to stay in third long.
No, it's all going to be about the pit cycles as well. Jeremiah Burke on a very interesting pit cycle here. He's kind of on his own little strategy island out there, and like I said, pretty much right when this thing started, you know, the road courses are strange. Like you can get a rough estimate right at the 1.5 miles or the short tracks or anything like that. You can kind of guess when people are going to be coming in. But man, these road courses, you can really throw a wrench in some crazy strategies and make it really work. As there goes Mr. Fight himself down into the pit lane. So Jeremiah Burke is going to get that position back and slide his way up into third here once again. Let's see, who's a driver we haven't checked in with lately. Let's look at that 285 of Greg Dobson as he's heading his way down that mid straightaway, one of the fastest straightaways here on this racing surface, getting up to speeds of 170 plus miles an hour, and he's being very cautious here. He was not taking any risks. The second he was starting to see kind of those marker boards, he was slowing down to get that car woed up. Same thing with Eric Klafka here. He's got Jim Ott kind of coming up the inside of him through the final turn as they're going to start heading up the hill towards that start-finish line. Looks like Jim Ott is going to take that position away and slide up into a top 5.
That's quite a climb up that hill to hit the start-finish line, and I love that about this track. I love the topography of it. It's a beautiful facility. It's just, man, when you put stock cars on it, it's just, for me, the magic isn't there, you know, it's, as opposed to maybe sports cars or some open wheel stuff that we've seen. These Xfinity cars are a handful everywhere you go, but a place like this, it's a special kind of crazy as far as difficulty level to get these things around safely.
As we take a look here at another driver we haven't talked about in a good little second here, that's Earl Evans driving that 13 machine. He's back there in 15th. He's had his woes and do's, and he's currently missing a hood right now, so that's one of the coldest running engines out here on this racing track. Is he makes his way down through turns 1 and 2, and of course we start talking about him, and he goes into the gravel, going for a little bit of a wild ride there. But you can see just from the face cam, calm, cool, collected, no crazy movements there. Just get that thing woed up and try to get it back onto the racetrack as quickly as he can.
That's because he hasn't seen the broadcaster curse you just put on him yet. He's going to be mad when he watches this replay.
He's going to have some more. I saw a couple choice words come out of his mouth right there as he was going off, but he's going to have a few more when he watches this broadcast again. But I love that high and tight haircut there. Florida native.
And you guys were talking about this little second straightaway. That is probably one of the hardest braking zones on the whole track, because you're going 170, blowing it down to probably the slowest corner on the track, and it's downhill braking. That's a lot to take in one corner.
And it is. And then you follow it up with an uphill where you're trying to brake as you just crest the hill.
Yeah, take all the weight off the car. Yeah, it's entertaining.
As,
Albert Anderson saying, hang in there, Jonathan Osborne, and let's go Team Limitless. Albert Anderson, he might be out of the race, but he's still cheering on his team and one of his buddies out there in the 81. As
Tony Polk has a little bit of an issue there through turn number 1, and able to corral that thing back together and go back to racing here. Is still waiting on those next round of pit stops here for these drivers as Jess Vaught navigates the 51 of Mike Adamson. So Jess has now lapped the field up to 7th and slowly hunting down that 6th place as well. But I got a feeling he's going to be coming in for his pit stop if he's following the little 12-lap strategy here. But it could change. Who knows?
What keeps him from winning this thing at this point? He's so far out front. Does he have to make a devastating mistake? Or
we don't talk about that because then that would be the broadcaster curse, Adam.
Well, I mean, I want to talk about something. I can't see him just drive away from everybody else. I mean, let's make this interesting.
The answer to your question is yes, it would take something devastating crash-wise, a big mistake for him to really have that many problems.
Ooh. There goes the 74 Robert Jordan across the track twice. It might be something like that might do some guys in. A car that's having some difficulty out there today. And when you're trying to save it and you cut across the track twice, if you've got one of those leaders behind you, that could be one of those devastating things that happens out there.
Yeah, that it could be, as Tony Polk as well. He's off down into the gravel once again and trying to get back onto the racing track. But kind of one of the biggest things I've been seeing here, Greg, is a lot of these incidents have been caused one of two spots: is too hard on the brakes or putting a tire off onto the grass.
Yeah, and that's what you have to worry about. Those little mistakes right there, especially under braking, that can throw all kinds of wrenches into your race.
Oh, good Lord, that was close as Robert Jordan was rejoining the track here once again. Let's see kind of what happens here. This is down that not so straight back straightaway. He was trying to let some traffic by, and of course this is the narrowest part of this track, as he then goes to rejoin. Woo, man, you ain't kidding. And then, oh no, Jason Ayerson as well was having a little bit of an issue here. Let's see what happens with Jason heading down into one of these kind of final sector turns, and just locks him up, goes for a little ride, but not too bad. Able to corral that thing once again and get back to racing.
There might not have been 4-letter words on the radio, but there was 4-letter words said. Guaranteed.
Well, I know I hit this a lot, but Greg, it's an important thing to do is check that relative box. Make sure there's not somebody coming up on you real fast before you rejoin the track. That's a pretty important thing, and some folks, I've been guilty of it as well. Sometimes that's the last thing you're thinking of is, hey, is there somebody coming up on me? You're just worried about getting back out on the track.
Oh, yeah, I think we've all been guilty of that one. Not checking that relative box and creating problems for other people. I know I've done it. You've done it. Hell, I think we've all done it. It's just one of the things you got to look at.
As Dion Jones had a little bit of issue here once when he finally got his car untowed and out of the pits and a little through the gravel, and around he goes. Not hitting anything, just a little spinneroony, but he's going to try to get back onto the track and try to finish this race out strong here. And who knows, maybe improve on position. Still plenty of racing left.
Yeah, amazing stat right now. We're just now halfway through this thing. So, long way to go.
And that we are, as Dion Jones coming up into a pit lane here. Jess Vaught still hasn't come down for his second round of pit stops yet, which is very surprising. And as I say that, here he comes up that hill, which helps that braking and slowing down for that pit speed. So it's all about timing that. It's kind of like on a super speedway, right? You don't want to lose too much time by braking too soon coming into the pits, but you don't want to wait too late and end up getting one of those black flag penalties. Same thing with the 28 of George Rincon. He's going to jump up here and join Jess in the pits, get some fresh rubber, some fresh fuel, and get back out there on the racetrack.
Albert Anderson Jr. saying, "Hang in there." Oh no, that's the wrong one. He says, "Now that's a balancing act." From Deion Jones talking about the incident earlier where the 4 car was sitting on top of the tire barrier. And then Albert Anderson III, his son, says, "Hey, I forgot to mention July 3rd was my father's birthday. Happy birthday again, Pops." Albert Anderson Jr. having a birthday right there on the 3rd. So happy birthday, Albert.
Ooh, the 76 of Jeff Ottinger. I don't think he was expecting to catch up to Tony Polk there all that quickly. He ended up bailing out to avoid any car contact there, but able to manage it quite well.
He stayed on the pavement, though. He didn't get a tire into the gravel or the grass, which that's pretty important if you want to maintain being able to put power down and control with your front tires.
Yeah, and just another quick step.
No. Earl Evans is across the track twice right there. He's facing backwards.
Oh, and that is a very quick and dangerous part. That is just after the kink. Onto the back straightaway as the car's coming down. I think he's going to have enough time, and he will. So 13 able to stay out of harm's way once again. But how's this for a stat, gentlemen? There's only one person remaining that has 0 off tracks, and that is Miss Lori Vaught.
Oh, she is up there in the booth watching this race carefully, I'm sure, making sure everybody clears their penalties and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's not a whole lot she can do up there to get a black flag. I've seen a baseball umpire toss an organ player one time at a ballpark, but I don't think there's much she can do up there to get thrown out of this thing or get a black flag. So, and I think she has it in with the owner, so she should be okay.
One might hope. So 25 laps remain. We started this thing with 20 drivers. We still currently have 17 out there on the track, which pretty good numbers here, especially at a tricky track like this. And I know a lot of people are just hoping and praying this thing ends here soon, but man, it's gonna still be a grind. Still got about an hour of racing left.
Mercy, I should have rationed my supplies a little bit better.
We got a little sad right there. I don't know why.
I mean, I'm kind of old. I don't know if I can stay up that late.
That's what I'm saying, Greg. I'm with you.
Well, one thing's for sure, we've definitely enjoyed having you in the booth up here tonight, Greg, and getting your insight on this track that it just befuddles me here. It doesn't matter what car you put me in. It really is rough, but it's a really interesting track. We mentioned it before, the topography and the scenery and stuff. It's really neat, but man, you talk about difficult. And I'm glad you're here to give us a little insight.
I appreciate you guys having me. I always have fun. We come up here, hang out, and just basically talk crap for an hour or two. I had nothing better to do this evening. Just watch out work. And this track, it's totally different if you're in a stock car or you're running, say, a GT3 car. There's something with downforce. It's a totally different drive. It's still one of my favorite tracks. It's hard, it's difficult, but for me, it's got a good flow to it.
Well, and some can be said also about running an H pattern shifter. There's some hardcore guys out here that run an H pattern shifter, which that's got to be fatiguing in and of itself, trying to hit those right gears, trying not to money shift it and blow your motor. Whereas some guys run just the sequential, they're running paddle shifters or sequential hand shifter. What do you run? What did you and Alan both? What do you guys run at road courses?
Right now, all I've got is paddle. I used to have an H paddle with my old wheel. This wheel, I do not have it. One of these days, I will get it again because I really enjoyed it. It really just adds a little more difficulty to it, but a little more fun as well.
Yeah, and I'm in that same boat. My biggest problem is I downshift a little too quickly, and I noticed it in the ARCA cars a lot. Driving road courses there is I would get a lot of wheel hop from just changing gears a little too soon, and the engine RPMs hopping up a little too much. And so that's another thing these drivers have to watch out for, is making sure they're timing their shifts just right, because that's another thing that will just upset that rear end and send some of these guys for a pretty wild ride. As, oh no, the 285, oh, he's missing some pieces now. Greg Dobson. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. It looks like he was having a issue here coming through the kink onto that not so straightaway. Oh, little too much speed. Maybe didn't lift quite enough. Oh, hard impact from one concrete wall to another. He is definitely going to be limping that one back to the pit lane.
Yeah, Greg Dobson with a meatball flag. That's a black flag with a brown circle in the middle. We call it the meatball flag. That's when you have mandatory repairs. The NASCAR has thrown a meatball flag for Greg Dobson, saying you need to get that thing in the pits and get it fixed. You're either dropping fluid or something major going on with that car. You got to get fixed.
Oh no! As Earl Evans with a relatively fresher car than when we last checked up in on him. He goes for a little wild ride, and I think he got some damage from that one as well. Let's go back and take a look-see here. Coming out of the kink. Oh, just breaking loose hard into that guardrail. Thankfully, it wasn't the concrete, so the damage is a little bit less. However, that still is going to affect that front end of that car for a while, as we still have a little battle going on out here on track. Everyone's pretty well spread out, but David Feit and Jim Ott nose to tail here, a battle for a podium spot.
Yeah, that one's heating up. That one's getting really interesting to watch right there.
And they've been kind of going at it all night, so that's pretty fun to watch.
Over on YouTube, Adam Strom, you guys would be happy to know that he did make it to the track this evening in his motor coach. He said he's parked down there on the infield. He said, feel free to swing by after the race. Beer is cold. It's 7-Up for those who may not want to partake in some beers. We got a couple more cars. Klafka and another car just slid off into the grass.
Yeah, I'll just come down there right now, Strong. I'll see you in about 3 minutes.
I'm trying to sneak out behind you. Let Greg and Alan do this thing to the end, huh?
I thought we already discussed. I'm kind of old. I may not make it to the end.
Yeah, you got that 11 of Eric Klafka up there in a top 10 8th spot right now. Doing pretty good. Not a terrible day for him here. Looking to add some good points here to his new team. And let me just verify, but I'm almost positive that he joined Vigilante Force just this past week.
Yep, it continues to be the Jess Vaught show as the 33 machine continues to dominate. When they crossed the start-finish line, he had a 7.5-second lead on George McCollum. Looks like he's extended that a couple of seconds during this lap. David Feit in the 221 doing his best to hold off Jim Ott. These two guys are just going at it for that third and final podium spot. And they still got 20 laps to go here.
Yeah, they do, and another round of pit stops as well, as those two are just nose to tail. Now, this is one of those cases. If you're Jim Ott, if you're comfortable enough to just kind of maybe take a little bit of the pace out of the car and just kind of sit and ride for a little bit, force that 221 to maybe make a little mistake.
Yeah, let them know you're there. That you're there. I mean, how many times, you know, Adam and Greg, are you guys more comfortable being the guy in front or the guy behind? I'd rather be the guy in behind because I love putting pressure on that car in front of me. Make him screw up and, you know, just let him know that you're still there. He has to drive in his mirror. You don't.
The only thing about being the car behind is then you don't have the vision to see, you know, your marks. That's the only problem I have being in the back like that. Can't see your brake marks and all that.
Yeah, and
Other
then for
than that,
me, yeah, but for me, like being in front, I get nervous, you know. I start driving with the mirror and all that, and usually end up blowing it, so, you know, everybody has their own kind of thing.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I'd rather be the guy behind, put the pressure on instead of being the guy in front being nervous.
Well, and I mean, not to mention that, but it's, well, yeah, we're a good chunk of the way into this race now, Greg, but you would think these drivers, you know, especially, you know, here with Jim and David, you know, they've been hanging around this top 5 pretty much all race long, as we've got some craziness going on out there on the track, on that back straightaway here. Jeff Ottinger having a little bit of an issue. He's trying to get that thing back up to speed, but it's kind of like a short track. You fall into a little bit of a rhythm, and, you know, that can help you out too.
Yeah, definitely. And every road course is kind of, to me, a rhythm track. Finding the marks and then just hit, you know, get in your rhythm, hit your marks, and, you know, be nice and smooth. But at this point of the race, too, these guys are probably getting tired.
Oh, I'm most certain about that. I don't doubt any of those guys are starting to feel a little weary in the arms and the eyes. I couldn't imagine doing a VR race here in these things tonight. That would be a little too much for me, as George Rincon right now hanging on to that second spot. He's trying to catch back up to Jess Vaught. The lead is now 8 seconds and climbing just a little bit. He's got some lap traffic here in front of him that he's going to navigate, but he's going to navigate it quite easily. But other than that, man, he's got pretty much the entire track behind him before third place, where David Feit is, to try to catch up to him here. About a minute and 5 seconds, which in racing land, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's
Half a lap at least.
And you're talking about, you know, tired arms and legs, and I'm worried about some of the older guys maybe having some bladder issues. See if anybody takes a really long pit stop at some point.
We have seen that as well. I believe it was Jeremiah Burke in that 753 in the very first road course we saw when they were driving the trucks at Red Bull Ring.
There was an unscheduled stop.
There was an unscheduled stop, and he was looking like a very prime contender there to pick up a win. Going through the grass. Oh, man.
Fight?
No,
Fight just lost that spot to Ott.
Yeah, he did. Going all the way through. He was dirt tracking that. He got a little bored of the just, you know, normal road course stuff. He decided to mix a little rallycross in there as well.
Oh, Earl Evans sideways right in front of the 221.
Hard impact there for Earl Evans into those tires. Let's go back and see what happened with Earl here. Already missing quite a few panels from that 13. Let's see what happens here. Oh, just hooks one of those tires on the inside curbing, and that's what caused him to really go tumbling on around. But don't look now. That 221 is right back up there, right on Jim Ott's bumper.
He caught back up very quick. What a recovery. Jason Ayerson done for the night. Manually disconnected.
Jason was currently sitting 12th, but he'll drop a few spots there. I'm sure Dave Hot Rod Mayberry would love that bonus spot that he's going to be getting.
He's one of those guys. He's out there collecting all these attrition positions. Got another car off track right there in the Is that in the kink there?
No, I think that was
82.
I saw the 222 going off.
Oh, that might have been the triple two. Sorry.
Yeah, Tony Poke going for a little wild ride at the end of that not so straight, able to avoid any serious contacts and get that thing rolling here once again. Eric Klafka, oh no, I think he was able to avoid calamity there, just using every inch of what he had to get that car slowed down. As we take a look here into that hard downhill braking zone, just maybe trying to push those brakes a little too much, adding a little too much brake pressure, and around he goes. So Eric Klafka will try to make up some of that 7 seconds that he now has to the 51 of Mike Adamson, who, let's just face it, Mike Adamson, man, he's been just kind of like Jess, you know, unfortunately not in the lead for Mike, currently sitting there in 6th, right behind his teammate Jeremiah Burke, who's in 5th. But only one off track here for Mike Adamson, serving all those penalties and everything. So let's give Mr. Adamson here the rally train as our rally train driver of the night, up 13 spots.
That's pretty amazing what he's been able to do.
Of course, while we
is still getting repairs down there.
Jim Mott off track.
Whoa! Oh man! The 221 and the 205 are just swapping spots here.
Well, Jeremiah Burke's now in the mix too, so
that he is, and we know Jeremiah is very quick here. He is right up there on that back bumper of David Fight here. So let's watch some of this race in action, and we'll go back to see what happened to Jeff Ottinger and Greg Dobson in a moment.
almost like an enduro race. Do we have extra? Can you just tag team somebody? Hey, English, you get the next 20.
Oh, and a mistake from Jim Ott, extending out of the corner just a little bit into the gravel, and that's going to cost him a ton of time. But if we know anything about Jim Ott there, he can make up some of that time fairly quickly. As here comes Jeremiah. He's going to try to get as much draft as he can here from that 221, climbing the hill and across the line with 18 laps now remaining. He is slowly gaining, looking to maybe make a move up the inside. Not quite, but he also made David almost make a little mistake there, going a little wide, and they almost came together, door-to-door racing, heading off down into turn number 3, and it looks like the 750, yeah, 753 had that spot for a moment as the 221 tries to put the power down, just not able to. The back end gets squirrely, so the 753 avoids the crossover here, but here comes David down this back straightaway again. Jeremiah going into a very defensive position, trying to ride that middle of the track. Here comes the 221, locking him up, coming down into that corner. 753, oh, no! Too much gas on exit for Jeremiah, and David Fight, for right now, wins the battle.
David got the power down a little too aggressive in 2 turns in a row, and then what happens on the next one? Jeremiah Burt makes a same mistake, but the back end goes around for him.
Is that too much of him kind of locking in on the fight and maybe paying more attention to the guy in front of him or beside him than what's happening out there on the track?
Adam, it looked like he was setting him up to try to do a little crossover coming out. Greg, I don't know if you saw the same thing, but that's what it looked like to me. He was trying to set him up coming out, but little too aggressive on his move there, and the back end just broke loose.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do, and just got too aggressive with it, like you said, and it happens. We all do it. You get into that race mode, you get the blinders on, and that's when bad things happen.
Jeremiah Burke, he does have his camera on here tonight. Let's
Oh, big wreck! 13, backwards again on the track. Hard impact to one of the walls there. 13 early.
And he hit another wall. And he's just gonna jump to the pits. I don't know if he's got any fast repairs left. I'm betting he's hoping he does.
He'll be done.
As his car is definitely battered and bruised for that Earl Evans machine.
Oh no, Jim Ott done for the night. Jim Ott has disconnected, the driver of the 205.
Man, he was having a heck of a night too.
Yeah, he was running top 5 consistently.
Yeah, that he was. David Fite currently into the pits, doing his pit stop here. I think he's gonna maybe try to push this one to the end. About 16, 17 laps left to go as Jeff Vaught climbs the hill here to try to pick up that, or try to cross that checkered line here in 16 laps.
And Adam, the Rangers have had a pretty consistent, group of guys that can contact hit. The problem is in the bullpen. You've got a good mix between right and left-handed pitchers, especially middle relievers, but pitch command is really becoming an issue with this squad.
That's the same old story with those guys. I don't know what's different from 1985 to now.
Oh, the 81 and the 4 get together right there in the turn. 81's going around trying to save it.
Very aggressive.
Wow, what a battle.
Jonathan Osborne sitting there at 8.
And it's a battle of teammates, Dion Jones and Jonathan Osborne. That is something you do not want to do, is try to get you and your teammate all tangled up. Oh, as Dave Hot Rod Mayberry almost gets tangled up with the 4 as well.
Earl Evans over there on the YouTube saying, man, I suck, AAA. Man, you hung on as long as you could. You lasted longer than I would have in a race like this. Earl Evans with the black flag as well.
Well, there's a lot of guys that are having a hard time. It's just nature of the beast here. We're used to running left and 180 miles an hour. This slowing down, speeding up, turning right, turning left. It takes a different kind of driver.
Well, if you want to talk to us, man, jump up in the broadcast weight room there.
Well, he's still out there. He's hanging with it.
Oh, okay, he's still racing. Okay.
He ain't giving up yet.
Figured if he was typing on YouTube, he might have been done.
Might have been just getting repairs done or something. As Tony Polk, Jonathan Osborne, hard impact into the tires. He's gonna wait for traffic to clear the way here. Let's watch what happens. Coming down off of that mid straightaway, again, downhill braking zone. Does pretty good, but gets those left 2 tires off into the grass, and you can kind of see a little divot happening, kind of forming up there on that inside of that curb, and we've seen a couple guys now get really bit by it.
Barrison Jr. saying, might as well have them run the whole race in the grass. Most of them are going to end up there anyway. Yeah, it's difficult, man. Greg, is there an optical illusion that kind of happens with the downhill versus uphill hard braking zones? I mean, the distance is really different because of the momentum of the car.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an optical illusion, but I mean, you're definitely, gravity plays a little different when you're trying to brake downhill compared to level or uphill. Just got to be a lot more careful. Remember to back your braking point up a little bit more, because it's going to take a lot longer to stop.
Yeah, Jeff Ottinger trying to hold off Tony Polk, and both drivers trying to look like they're trying to crack that top 10. Jeff holding that position right now in that 76 Cessna Beechcraft machine, trying to, just like everybody else, survive the final remaining 15 laps here at Road America.
Trying to survive. That's all you're really trying to do here. I guess primarily if you're an oval guy that just runs oval, week in, week out. Some guys run it. They run the officials every day, depending on what NASCAR is running at the time on their schedule. But yeah, I put myself in the category of survival when I come to a place like this. It's, try to make some attrition positions, but try to stay out of everybody's way, because you got guys like Vault, Rincon, Burke, and Fight Adamson that are out here really trying to get a good finish, and it's doing them zero favors if I'm running around out here just trying to stay out of the way. But it seems like they're handling it pretty well.
So I'm the one that's out there trying to run fast laps and really trying to race, because I love all kinds of racing, road racing, oval racing, dirt, it doesn't matter. I like it all. So I'm out here trying to win.
Well, we definitely know that. But look at Just Vaught's lap times. They're still, looks like he's, last one was a 2:17. His best is about a 2:15 Still putting those laps down.
And that shows just how much tire fall off we have on this track. Once those tires where you can't brake as well, you can't turn as well, you can't get back on the gas, you lose a lot of time compared to when those tires are fresh.
Yeah, and George Rincon has lost 4 seconds. He's at 2:19 on the last lap compared to 2:15.81. So you got to know how to save those tires, looks like.
So it looks like Jeremiah Burke is starting to make up just a little bit of time. We did see that the last recorded lap, according to iRacing, he was a minute 40 behind the leader. But now he's being scored about a minute 32. So he may be making up some laps here. He only has 2 lap fresher tires, so I'm not sure that the numbers I'm looking at are correct.
Well, you also got to remember, I think, I know Jess needs to make at least one more pit stop. Same thing with George Rincon there, as Tony Polk having a bit of an issue here once again. He's trying to get back onto the racing surface, and he does. Trying to come out of that little last final sector here.
Mike Everidge into pit in the 82 machine. That pit road speed here, when you're going up the hill, we talked about it a little bit, Greg. That uphill kind of helps you slow down a little bit. Pit road speed limit, 45 miles an hour. So that like hill just crawling. That hill just saves a little braking though for you, though, I guess. If, silver linings and all.
I still have never found a good braking point on that, though. I always end up going too slow into the pit lane. Only part of the track I haven't really got down yet.
As we're quickly approaching the 10 laps remaining here at Road America. We thank you all for tuning in and watching. And how about this? We haven't talked about these guys enough. It's our race sponsors, D&D Race Graphics, Grafix. Go ahead and look them up on Facebook. And Trading Paints, if you need a car or truck or sprint dirt car or rally car, any of those things, go ahead and look them up and see what kind of custom paints they can get created for you here, as they've been a proud sponsor for quite a while, as well as Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. You can call Ricky at 423-444-0454 if you're looking to buy or sell your house in that Johnson City area or across the country, because man, he's got a whole bookload of contacts all the way from Maine to Alaska, Texas, and Florida. Make sure you give Ricky a call, because buying or selling a house, something you do not want to do alone. It is a crazy market. Get yourself a good quality realtor. And of course, anytime that you support the proud sponsors here, man. It just gets thrown kind of back towards the league and makes things just even better and better as time goes on. As here comes Jess Vaught down into pit lane.
Yeah, we got a couple guys coming down pit road right now. Well, no, looks like it's just Vaught at the moment.
George Rincon, he's in a little bit of a drag race here with David Fight coming down into the pits. Looks like the 28 is going to have that spot clear.
Drag race in history. Ashley Osborne over on YouTube saying, "Go Johnny, go!" She's pulling for her brother, Jonathan Osborne, in the 81. She said, "It looks like I'm a little late to the party, but it looks like it's been an interesting one. It has not been a yawner tonight, as the 81 is in the gravel. Broadcaster first once again as he comes out of the grass and gets back onto the track right at the Johnsonville Bridge. Looks like he'll be okay."
Was that the broadcaster curse, or did the sister curse him making us talk about it?
Yeah. I'll
Something to
put it
think
on
about.
Ashley. It's Ashley's fault.
That 81 tries to continue to make up some ground. He had a pretty big incident early on that he rallied back from, now up into that top 10. Mike Adamson continuing his little quiet climb through the leaderboard, now up into 4th, up 15 spots, as Jess Vaught, George Rincon have completed their final pit stops. Question is, Jeremiah Berg last pitted on lap 27, Mike Adamson on lap 28. Do they have enough to make it? And it's just a question that we're going to have to wait to see. And of course, it's all about who can save some fuel too.
Jeff Ottinger pretty hard into the tire barrier there. As Earl Evans tells us on YouTube, he says, "I had to stop in Canada Corner / Mayberry Corner." Dave Mayberry. Oh, Hot Rod. He's had some issues with some of these turns tonight. Of course, a lot of the drivers have. It's a tricky track, man.
You ain't kidding us. Here comes Ottinger. He's going to come flying past Dion Jones here. Man, talk about a warrior. Dion Jones. He's been out there just picking off those people who have been disconnecting here throughout this race. Up to 16th here for that Ford machine. And it's seen better days. It definitely has. But you know what? Some of these guys, they're race drivers, and they understand that, you know, they want to show up here and compete, but it's just really a fun thing to do on your Wednesday night after work. And because I mean, none of these guys are professionals, right? That's kind of what makes the racing so fun, is knowing that these guys aren't professionals, and you never know what's in store for you.
Old George got pretty loose right there. Sent it pretty hot into one of them corners. Got a little bit loose, able to save it though. That's a tall order. Adam, Greg, y'all can give us a little bit of insight, but you know, going from the trucks last season into these Xfinity cars, they're not near as forgiving.
Well, they got a lot more horsepower, I think, is the biggest difference. I think these have more horsepower than the Cup cars do.
Yeah, I think they do. The trucks are, I mean, it would still be difficult to drive here, but it would be a little bit more forgiving. I think Albert touched on that when we talked to him.
But the aerodynamics too, yeah.
I think the trucks actually have a little more downforce, a little less power, so it's going to be a little easier drive. These, a lot less downforce, a lot more power, and yeah, it's really on the driver to take care of your stuff at that point.
Boy, George Rincon got an off track there, almost lost it.
Almost did. He was trying to put Mike Adamson a lap down compared to him there, and he will. Jeremiah Burke coming in for his final pit stop there. He's going to be driving out in just a second here and rejoining the track, but it looks like Jeremiah is going to be able to hold on to that third through that pit stop.
81 to Osborne trying to take a trip around the go-kart track over there on the infield. The 81 way off the track there. Able to get it back over to the pavement, though, without hitting anything.
You can't take your car out there. You got to go rent one of the go-karts. They won't just let you take your stock car out there. They're real strict about that.
Well, Earl Evans said he'd talk to us. You guys want to talk to Earl?
He's currently out there driving. I'd hate to.
Oh, okay.
Hate to interrupt the man while he's already having a struggle bus of a night.
And then send a message on YouTube. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to pull him up if it's gonna cause him a little loss of concentration, especially if we have some leaders around.
Yeah, you got 10 laps remaining now, and these are gonna be probably the 10 longest laps of some of these guys' racing careers here on iRacing. Dion Jones has now officially passed the last person who has disconnected that 205 at Jim Ott, so up into a top 15 there for Dion in that 4. But really, position-wise, not a whole lot of tight racing. I know David Fight in that 221 is about 2 seconds off of the 51 Mike Adamson. That's by far the closest battle we have going out here right now. We also have 12 seconds between Just Fought George Rincon. That's first and second. And then you got half a lap, a minute 35 down to Jeremiah Burke. And,
there goes George again. He's drifting it through the gravel. Wow. He's going to lose. Well, he's not losing a spot. Adamson's going to get in front of him. Adamson is the first car 1 lap down. But the 4 is going to slow up and let the 28 back around. George Rincon, what a save there.
Yeah, looked like Tokyo Drift right there. Still sitting pretty for the podium.
that he is, and I mean, we're definitely kind of, oh no, Eric Klafka. He's off the track just a little bit there. No extra shenanigans though, so he's able to hang on there as Mike Adamson comes down to make his final pit stop. Same thing with a 74, Robert Jordan. Oh no, as a 13, Earl Evans. He's parked it in the grass here once again, and let's just say I don't think Road America's lawn crew is going to have as much work to do. Oh no, as he's kind of almost loses it coming back onto the track. Got to be careful about that too, but he's able to rejoin, and nothing too crazy.
You know, you guys were talking about professional race car drivers. You know, I'm a professional race car driver myself, right?
What, go-karts?
No. I won $10 in a street stock race. That makes me professional.
I won 60. I won 60 in a plate race over at MDOT, but
you're a professional race car driver. You've got money to do this.
And look, I'm batting 1,000. I've won every money race I've ever been involved in. I knew to quit after the first one. That I won by a fluke.
Fluke on a plate race, you win it now. You're good at plate racing. A lot better than I am at it.
Good and lucky.
Yeah.
That's half a plate racing.
That's true.
Yeah. I was right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
I know where the safe spot to be is coming out of turn 4 at Talladega.
It's not in the lead.
No, it's about 3rd or 4th or 6th place. Down all
leave
the
with me behind you.
As the 29 of Hot Rod Dave Mayberry had the 28 of George Rincon flying up on that tail end of his bumper there, just able to squeak out of the way and let these drivers by. As Tony Polk having another spinneroonie there Looks like in just coming out of turn number 1, maybe a little too much throttle there. So let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, no, excuse me. That was coming up the hill. And just a smidge too much throttle.
Adam, it looks like we got an update from Albert Anderson. He says that he was actually in Papa Joe's. He said the cops just showed up. He's out of there. So y'all gonna have to find. Y'all need to go down the road. Go to the Big O.
The Big O's okay. Yeah. Hit the Big O on the way out of town.
Yep, all right on 35 right there.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad spot either. You can get that big glass. But yeah, anytime, Albert, I've been there a lot of times. Definitely, you see those red and blues. You just gotta kind of kick it on out.
You got the side over.
Let everybody else fight that out. You get out while you can. You hit northbound on 35. You'll be gone in 30 seconds.
As Jess Vaught with 8 laps remaining. Talk about an absolutely dominating performance out here tonight. I think ever since that green flag waved.
Dobson back in the tire barrier again. Our Canadian buddy in the 285. Just can't stay out of them tires tonight. He's still out there running though, man. You talk about ain't no quit in the 285.
Somebody should tell him you got 4 on the car. You don't need any more. That's all you need.
Yeah, don't put it on the front end of that thing. Well, the track temperature's gone down. We started at 103. It's now down to 82. I don't know how much a difference that's playing.
That's
45 laps on a race, but
that's a big difference, especially with the track now getting. I mean, it's been rubbered in for a while now, but cooler temps. As Earl Evans goes for another ride there, but able to corral it and keep momentum going there across the line. 7 laps now remain, but you know that was something these drivers had to adjust for on the fly. Was you get a little bit more traction. You can definitely tell who's kind of prepared for it. Obviously your top 4 of Vaught, Rincon, Burke, and Fight. But, Adamson, Klafka, Osborne, these guys have all been really pushing the limits here on this final stint.
You're going to find 0 people complaining about the little bit stickier conditions that they're going to get with these much lower track temps. So, yeah, a little bit later in the evening, it's being shown right now. It's 5:22 p.m. Simulator time. It's a little bit later here in real life, but as it's gotten later here, it's definitely cooled off. So everybody appreciate it.
Oh no, Robert 74. Jordan having a big issue, and man, he is just absolutely stuck on that concrete. I wonder if he's got a serious steering issue going on here. He's going to start having some traffic pile up behind him here. Let's kind of watch what happens. This is heading off down to turn number 1. Just getting those 2 outside tires off of the racing surface and into the dirt just a little bit. Snags and then spins all the way into the tires and hard impact, but still out there driving.
Well, the Astros are down to the Royals right now, 5-4. Just keep them updated.
After this series with the Orioles, I'm about ready to take my Rangers hat.
They got swept.
Maybe sacrifice something in fire.
Put it in the burn pile with some chicken bones, and then buy you a new one.
Say some spells and stuff. I don't have no voodoo or hoodoo in my.
Get the old version. Get the throwback hat. You don't want that garbage they got today.
I like the old black tee, man.
Yeah, go with that one.
Have the Rangers been relevant since they made the World Series? What, 10 years ago?
Hey,
2011.
If I watch baseball, I'm watching the Rangers, so I understand.
You know the hurt. They need
Yeah.
to get rid of John Daniels, that dead gum general manager that just lets people get away. We got 5 prospects for Andrews. Come on now.
It's a gamble, man. He's just wrong at it.
He's
See, now, me
terrible.
personally, I'm looking at this as the last month without football until March of 2023. So it's
That's
getting
a-
my time of the year.
Ooh, that's
285,
positive.
almost into the barriers there. Able to keep it off hard stuff and back onto the track. Yeah, I watched that USFL championship game, but
they're garbage.
I think there was more people at our last high school football game than were actually at that game.
I
So
think we got
I don't
more
know.
viewers here than we had there on that.
I don't know where they're getting the money from to keep that organization afloat, but I like
TV
spring football.
contracts. All TV contract money.
Yeah.
God, man.
What I miss is arena football in the spring. That was so much fun to watch.
We used
It
to
was
have
a
a
little
team here
better.
too.
Yeah, it was actually fun. This stuff they're throwing out there now, hot garbage.
Yeah, you guys had the battle lanes, AF2,
Yep, that's right. Yep.
because I went down there when the Talons went down there.
I know we're real into it.
Oh, dude, that was a blast.
As we check in here with the 82, Mike Everidge had some problems earlier on in this race, but got a fast repair done, and that 82 is looking pretty good right now. In 8th spot, up 9 spots on the day. He's been pretty solid after he got maybe those first few lap jitters out of the system and really set in, and everything is rolling on through. So if I were to ask you guys, if we were to play a little game and say over under number of off tracks for the person with the most off tracks, what number would you guys
Oh, are we
randomize
going?
a guess at?
Are we going for a car number, or are we saying
Just
how
total-
many off tracks they had?
total number of off tracks?
I don't have access to that, so I can't cheat.
23.
Well, I don't either.
23.
I was going to say 25.
I was going to say 52.
You just took my 25 and reversed it. That's not
Well,
even-
maybe. No, that's. Oh, well, I used your brain and I flipped it into mine.
Whatever, Greg. You just did the Price is Right thing and just bid right over me.
If I was
So
going to do
what-
that, I bet $1. That way it didn't go over.
$1. $1.
What is it, Brown? I want to know.
So the current leader in the clubhouse, if you want to call it being a leader, as Robert Jordan. We're actually going to take a look at this. I just got to build the suspense,
I'm
has
stalling, man.
has a little bit of an issue here. Let's go back and watch Robert here. I think he just goes off for a ride. The problem is he was right in front of the leader, Just Vaught, as well, and that's one of those catastrophe things that we were kind of worried about. Thankfully, he was able to keep it off the track and out of the way, so no big issue there. But yeah, leader in the clubhouse right now, number 13, Earl Evans, with 48 off tracks.
I'm so
Oh.
close. I used your little
Stand
brain,
right.
Greg. I used your brain, Greg. I just flipped it. And I was
Sam-
close.
Samsonite. I was way off.
Exactly. Yeah, I figured it was high. I didn't know it was going to be that high, but tough track, man. I would probably have 100 by now if I was still racing. I'd have parked it probably.
Yeah, we're the capable party.
Yeah, of the people still running, we only have a handful still in the single digits. Just Vaught obviously being one of them. He has 1 off track. Mike Adamson in the 51, he has 1 off track. George Rincon and Jeremiah Burke both have 8 and 7. And you'll
We
never...
talked about it, the 74 goes off track again.
Yep. Has you'll never believe this last name. The only other person with single digit off tracks, 29, Dave Hot Rod Mayberry.
You better check that again. I'm not sure that's right.
I don't know, man. We haven't seen
Recrunch those numbers. Just hit the recrunch button.
Mayberry's been very solid here tonight. Yeah, I think he knew coming into this he wasn't going to be the quickest, but he was dang sure going to be one of the cleanest, and that's what's given him a current top 10 spot right now.
Well, he catches a lot of hell. Let's be honest. And he had no. He had no positive vibes coming into this race tonight, but he's solidly in the top 10 right now. He's right there in ninth. He's 3 laps down, but he's holding his own out there. So good job, old hot rod, the 29.
He is with 4 laps remain. Just fought with an 18+ second lead here over George Rincon, who still has that minute 35 on Jeremiah Burke. So it just kind of looking through this board, I think people are pretty much right where they're going to finish here tonight. Got a couple people sitting in the pits getting damage done and that kind of stuff, but I expect them to come back out on the track. But really nobody around them to kind of maybe sneak up and steal a position here or there. It's really the closest battle on track right now. Jonathan Osborne and Mike Everidge with a 3-second gap.
And keep in mind, folks, that if you disconnect, if you stop running, you're going to be ineligible for the random draw driver of the night. We're going to award a little bit of money to the fan of the race and the lucky draw driver. But if you quit the race, if you DNF, if you leave the Discord, you're going to be ineligible for the lucky draw driver. So everybody that's still running at the end is going to be eligible for this random draw.
Well, check this out. He said 4 laps to go. I mean, I could watch the damn local Texoma news and
that's 2 innings.
I'm going to see the news and who won the noodling contest and all that. I get all that in before this thing is over. Yeah. If somebody caught a big blue cat down there, I don't know. It's just 4 laps here seems like an eternity.
Edna won the cakewalk at the fair, and that carrot cake every year.
She's been doing it for so
Star
long.
of the show. I mean, it's the cream cheese icing. It really is. That's the star of the carrot cake.
Is that your go-to cake or what?
I don't really know.
Angel food.
I'm more of a pecan pie guy.
As Greg Dobson currently still sitting in the pits with 3 laps remaining. He's starting to kind of run out of time here. Hopefully he can get that car fixed up. Just kind of looking at his camera right now. He did get up out of his seat, so he just might be taking a quick break. He'll be back out there on the track, I'm sure, for the race to end here. He's not one to give up. As here comes where's Just Fought at right now? He is working his way in the final sector, working his way towards the final turn here, and gonna make that turn to go back up the hill. 2 laps are gonna be remaining here as soon as he crosses the line, and man, those 2 laps can't end soon enough.
You said it, man.
A wild one here, boys. I
That
know it's 200 miles, but I mean it's when the average track speed is a little bit slower than normal, even with no yellows. Holy smokes! Takes a little while to get around here.
Yeah, 4 mile tracks will do that to you. As just kind of looking through this board, Deion Jones does go back out onto track, and it looks like Greg Dobson's still not out there yet. So
Yeah, he has a meatball flag that has not been cleared. So I think what happened was he ran out of fast repairs. He's sitting there waiting on them guys, beating and banging with hammers and sawzalls on that car, trying to get it ready to go back out.
Sawzall, is somebody taking a cat converter off of there? Whoa, we gotta watch out for that these days. thieving bastards. Stealing every catalytic converter all over this country. Let's put an end to that. We need to start some petition. Into Sawzalls. We got to get rid of the Sawzalls. That's the problem.
Is there gold in them things? What's the deal?
Yeah, there actually is. Some kind of.
There's all kinds of rare
Yeah.
metals in there that are worth a lot of money.
74, Robert Jordan, sideways in front of Earl Evans. No contact. I think the one that got hurt the most there was the 221 of fight. Had to check up again for some cars spinning in front of him. Fourth place car, one lap down.
And that's the other thing we've seen here tonight was some really good, wreck avoidance from a lot of these guys, whether it was just shutting everything down and just stopping in time. And I've seen quite a few people also, just do a nice little flick to get out of the way and off of the racing line and try to get around some of these guys. As here comes Jess Vaught up the hill. He's going to have to do it only one more time as he takes the white flag here. So final lap, which means not that we were going to get any. No red, yellow, anything flags.
Sporn sideways, lost control there.
Oh, and he's got Robert Jordan coming up, so they're going to be very close to each other. They're able to figure things out heading through that final sector. They've coming up on the final turn there, and just a second. Looks like Earl Evans going off track right in front of these guys and across the track, just trying to put it back together here. But I think he heard our over-under thing, and I think he might be skewing the betting. Trying to get it to Turner's number here.
Well, according to Klein, it was his number, just inverted. He climbed me on the numbers, guys. Always trying
I'm
to
good at that.
Always trying to win. Hey, seriously, thank you for joining us tonight, man. It made it a little better, I think, for people out there watching.
Yeah, I mean, I always enjoy coming up here and talking to you guys and talking racing. It's always a good time.
That it is, as heading down through the carousel is Jess Vaught for the final time, making his way down into the infamous kink that's bit so many drivers, able to make it clear through there, down the long back stretch that's not so straight into Canada corner, as Jonathan Osborne has a little bit of an issue here. Let's see where it's at. Oh, and he ends up tagging, I think, is that Robert Jordan in the 74? It was. We'll take a quick look at that before Jess Vaught crosses the line here. Looks like they were having a little bit of an issue down, coming up the hill. Little spinner-rooney. Yep, sir-ree, little spinner-rooney. But either way, here comes Jess Vaught climbing the hill for the final time, seeing that checker flag wave. Our first multi-winner here this season, the 33 of Jess Vaught, brings it on home. George Rincon, 19 seconds behind him, is going to come across the line in second. And it looks like Jeremiah Burke will cross the line here in third as soon as he gets there.
The 4 and the 221 got into it before the end of the race. The 4 apologizing. David Fight.
We're just going to keep the watching the action here on the track, waiting for people to finish up and cross that start-finish line here. And
Well, while we're waiting for that, Kathleen Anderson over there on Facebook is your fan of the race tonight. Thank you so much, Kathleen. We appreciate all the questions. She's always got cool questions and always out there supporting the tube machine. And man, I tell you what, the Anderson Nation was out tonight and made it kind of an easy decision out there. So thank you so much for all the viewers, though, on Twitch, on YouTube, and over on the Facebook feed.
All right, well, and not only that, we have a random draw driver of the day. And it looks like we did end up having 14 people officially finish. Oh, no. Greg Dobson was able to go back onto the track, so we will have 15. So here we go. We will hit generate 3 times, and that'll be the lucky position of the driver here tonight. So 1, 2, and 3. That's the 14th place finisher, Greg Dobson. So look at that.
He earned it.
He hung around, stuck it out, and was still able to finish this one here and able to get one of those spots.
They're still racing out here. It seems like.
It's a long cool down lap.
Oh, whoa, man, I'm getting confused.
And 4 miles long.
4 miles.
Oh man, I'm gonna call shenanigans on this. Earl Evans finishes with 52 off tracks.
I'm the winner, guys. Thanks, Earl.
Oh,
Appreciate
I
it.
thought it was at the time, not.
No. I basically like Nostradamus of people crashing. It makes sense.
Well, you're an expert in the field.
I am.
That he is. So, Greg, like they were saying earlier, man, we appreciate you coming up here tonight and joining the road action with us here. And no, kind of towards the end here, it was fading off, but I still saw some good racing.
Yeah, that's the problem with the road courses. You get a couple people that are really good, and they kind of pull away, and you get spread out, and it's hard to have battles for the whole race. But man, it's always fun coming up here and calling a broadcast to you guys, and I appreciate you inviting me. And anytime you need me, call me.
Awesome, brother. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, let's start the interviews underway. Here is Jeremiah Burke is deaf and muted. I wonder if he'll undo that as soon as I drag him up here. Jeremiah.
Might be
Yeah,
taking a
please.
personal break. We might have
Yeah.
to go to our second
No.
place guy.
He's still
It's a long race, man. You gotta
it is a long race.
unwind
It
a
is.
little bit.
It is, but he could have also misclicked. It happens. No, there he is. There's
Hey, there
Mr.
he is.
Jeremiah.
Oh,
As
boy.
he manages to claw out a third place finish here tonight, and Jeremiah, you're gonna. I hope you have a extra PTO time at work. You might need to call out for after this one.
Dude, I am tired. My foot hurts. I made every mistake in the book. I can't believe I only got like 8 X's. But I felt like I was off the track every damn lap. I was just trying to make up that time just as fast. Just and George were the class of the field for sure, and that was just that was rough. That was a hard fought battle.
We talked about you a lot, especially during the pre-race, about you were going to be one of the favorites. You were very confident coming into tonight and did a lot of practice. We saw you pit very, very early. What was the early pit stop all about?
So I thought we were only going to go like 12 laps on gas. So with my math, I pitted there just to make sure I had enough because we were going to need a short stop at the end. I pitted there so I could get it first. That way, if there was a caution, I'd cycle to the lead. And it would have worked, but I spun out on that out lap, and then I went off a few times, and then it cascaded from there, and I was never able to keep up.
Well, next week, Charlotte, different deal. What are you thinking about that? And do you have any shout outs before we let you go?
Shout out to whoever's watching. I sent this link to all sorts of people. I don't know if there's anybody watching for me. If they are, thank you. My teammates, Mike, he had hell of a run to 5th. He had an EOL, a pass-through penalty. I don't know what all else he had in 5th place, so that was good. Albert, Tim, Greg, everybody, they're great teammates. I know Tim wasn't too excited about the road course, so he sat this one out. But hey, looking forward to have everybody back next week, and Charlotte will be a good one. I love that track and these cars too. So hopefully I can just keep up the momentum I've got. Had some great finishes this year, and let's keep it up.
Yes, that indeed. Well, congratulations on the 3rd place podium finish here tonight, Jeremiah, and look forward to what you guys can do here next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thank you guys for everything you do.
And moving on up to our 2nd place finisher here tonight, that's going to be Mr. George Rincon. George, I don't think we've really talked to you much, and we get to talk to you here tonight as you finish in 2nd place. And man, for a while there, it looked like you might have had something for Jess, but just, man, it was just a long, grueling race.
It's a long, grueling race, and I can tell you what, I'm officially the first loser. But it was a good race. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah, it was funny because I had my relative on the whole time, and I'd gain 2 seconds, lose 2 seconds, gain 2 seconds, lose 2 seconds. And I'm like, all Jess has to do is mess up one time, and I'll be right there. And then we were going through the what is that? That straightaway where you have to really turn right, or else you go out into the grass. What's it called there? After the carousel. Anyway, doesn't matter. I saw a car go off track. I thought it was Jess. I'm going, oh my gosh, but it wasn't. It was a 13. So it was fun. I had a good time.
13 is one of the ones we saw. Had a lot of off tracks tonight. It was a difficult track. The changes in elevation, the right and left deal going on. But I tell you what, we were watching Team Goodweiser tonight, and still a real solid finish right there in 2nd place. Next week, Charlotte. What are you guys doing to prepare for Charlotte? And are you guys working on team strategy or anything like that?
Now, is it Charlotte or is it Atlanta?
I believe it's Charlotte next week.
Is it really?
It might be Atlanta. We get confused by some of the people talking, so it's been a long race. We can look it up
right here.
I think we were talking. Everybody's saying Charlotte. We could be wrong.
Charlotte Motor Speedway night.
There you go.
133 laps.
Yeah, I like Charlotte actually. I feel like I'm pretty good there in the trucks. I haven't really done much with the Xfinity car. I'd imagine it's quite a bit looser, but I guess I'll have to get out there and run it a little bit, and and then resume my mid-pack status because that's pretty much what I am. But that was good. It was a good time. Thanks to Jess and Lori for putting this on, and of course you guys for broadcasting it. Give me something to watch here. Probably, I don't know, either tonight or tomorrow morning. See when I get a chance to do it. So, and hopefully, I got a couple of told my son to watch it, and a couple of buddies. I asked, hopefully they got be able to tune in for a little bit. I don't know what the broadcast looked like. We're kind of spread out, but
hopefully we don't disappoint you because it was a really long one.
Yes, it was. I know that's asking a lot.
Help. We had a 4th guy in the booth with us tonight just to try to help us out because. Man alive, this had to have been mentally taxing on you guys.
Yeah, like I'm in California, so I'm sweating bullets here, man. I gotta take, besides that, my left leg's cramping up, and I think I really overheated my steering wheel too, as I started feeling a little bit funny. But it could have just been could just be me. I mean, I'm an old dude, man. For me to do this, I'm gonna pass out now.
Awesome, dude. Good job. We'll see you next week, man. Congrats on the P2.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you guys for everything you do, too, and looking forward to watching it. You guys have a good one.
You too.
You as well as we'll now get to talk to our friend, the Lucky Draw Driver. I think this is the 2nd time you've got this one there, Mr. Dobson, and we get to...
I think, yeah.
Get to talk to you. I know it was a hard one for you out there. Hit the walls a few times. Definitely saw plenty of the scenery out there, but it's still a solid 14th place finish. Able to grind this one out into the very bitter end, and
Yeah, I had a
that's-
meatball right at the end that I had to go in and pit for repairs. I'd already used my 2 quick repairs, and luckily it was an 8-minute repair, and it was timing out that I had 10 seconds left right as Jess came across the line. So it was able to call me a white flag instead of a checker, and I was able to get out and consider myself running. Awesome. Gets me good for a couple of bucks on that for a second time. But yeah, great course, challenging course. I was surprised I threw a sub 20-second quali time on sub 2 minutes and 20 second. I was surprised I got that down. I was struggling to get under 2 minutes 21, but she was really tough. And ironically, a lot of the time I'm driving around by myself, really not overly driving it too deep or running off track, but any time that I was either working around guys who were slower than me trying to yield to me, or the lead lap guys that were going around me, it interfered with the rhythm, right? It's such a rhythm track that you hit your braking zones and you get put out of that stuff, and that's what caused a lot of my runoffs and damage.
Well, great job out there dealing with all those rhythm disruptions. And happy belated Canada Day, by the way.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Happy belated 4th to yourselves.
Appreciate it, man. Talk about next week, man. Charlotte's a whole different animal. Have you sat down with your team and come up with a strategy? We've kind of talked to some of the other guys about that, and they said, well,
haven't really done anything special with the Limitless guys or anything like that just yet. Charlotte's one of those iRacing staples. Everybody's done it. It's usually in the street stocks, or the Xfinities do like to run there a lot. Has that nasty habit to be loose coming off of turn 4 as you get into the tri-oval on that one. So it'll be interesting to see how the setup that we have is going to handle, and obviously it's going to be a car that we're going to have to go out and do some testing and some working and see if any of the guys have any tips. But it is a standard oval, and hopefully I should be able to get a handle on it. I was surprised I was able to have a good enough handle on the road course here to qualify 5th this week.
Well, good job, man. You got any shout-outs before we let you go?
Once again, all the Limitless guys. Tim wasn't able to race with us this week. Burke, Adamson, and Albert. Thanks a lot, guys. Anybody who's watching at home, bosses from work at Stellar Lanes, John, Lorraine, Mom, Dad, brother and sister-in-law, Dan and Steph. Hope you guys are watching. Hope you enjoyed the race. And, I hope to be involved in some competition here in the future, and hopefully get myself another top 10 or 15.
Awesome, man. Well, again, good job here, staking it out. P14 for you tonight, and we wish you the best of luck here the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
All right. And so with that, we can now go up to tonight's race winner and our first multi-winner here in this season, Mr. Jess Vaught, bringing that 33 from the first green flag all the way to the checker in that lead spot. Man, Jess, for a while there, it looked like George, was going to be pressuring you for quite a while, but again, a couple mistakes here and there from him and whatnot, but you were able to just keep it very consistent out there, avoid all the traffic calamities and anything like that, and you drove yourself to a pretty good looking win here tonight.
No, yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna say for this one, it'll probably never happen again. I'm really proud of this one, and George, yeah, he kept me honest throughout the first the first 3 stints there. He had some issues. I was talking with him, some issues in traffic, I think in the second to last, and he got a little bit further behind, and I just kept trying to run quality laps, because when I laid off a little bit, it seemed like I would start to make little mistakes if I tried to lay off, and then I would lay off in the first or second run, and George would catch me, or he would have a better corner than I would, and sometimes I was laying off and it was just messing up my focus.
Yeah, sometimes you got to change your way of thinking when approaching a challenging track like this, and you obviously had it figured out. To be honest, Jeremiah Burke was probably the guy I was watching closest tonight, as far as guy I expected to be on the top of this deal. Not taking away from you and George at all, but Jeremiah, he told us in his interview, man, I made some terrible mistakes, and and stuff like that. But he was still a great competitor, almost a lap down. But this race was challenging for a lot of guys, and we had a few guys drop out. The great thing is y'all have a couple of drop weeks built into the schedule. But that's not going to be the case next week. When you guys go to Charlotte, y'all probably going to have a full field. What are you expecting next week?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough race. Yeah, you're right. It's going to be a full field. Some folks will, get away from the road courses. They don't really enjoy them. So next week, I imagine we're going to have a full house, and it's going to be a barn burner.
Well, I mean, you went flag to flag pretty much there. It was very impressive. Good luck next week, and you have any shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, man, as always, my wife Lori, I actually hooked her up with the hashtag this week on the car. It was Dave Mayberry's idea to throw some love towards Lori for all she does. So hashtag thank you. And to my team and to you guys as always, this has just been it's been a great experience all around, all the folks involved in this league and you guys being with us from the beginning. Yeah, really loving this. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats, Jess, on the second win of the season for you here, and that's just going to pad that cushion you had at the top of that championship standings leaderboard. And man, this season's been turning out really good, and we can't wait to see what you guys got next.
No, yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Take care.
All right. So with that is the racing done for Road America. And fellas, yeah, that was long. That was long, but still, it was enjoyable. We had drama.
George Rincon was just sitting there idling at the start-finish line, and his motor just blew up. So that goes to show you how hard this track is on cars. He was just sitting there idling, and the car blew up. But yeah, I want to piggyback on what Jess was saying, and we mentioned it during the broadcast of what a great job Lori does adminning these races and being our umpire up there in the skybox, so to speak. So thank you once again. And yeah, man, it kind of met our expectation. I mean, we knew a lot of guys were going to have trouble here tonight that don't really run a lot of road course stuff, and that kind of reared its head. And but a few surprises as well. Some of these guys out here really know what they're doing.
Yep, absolutely. So as we wind things down, let's go ahead and do our final finishing order for today. And that's going to look like this. Jess Vaught picking up the win number 2 for him this season, bringing that Vigilante Force car home there. You got George Rincon for Goodweiser bringing it home in second. I said at the very beginning, watch out for George. He is a very sneaky guy, and he can get some good finishes here. And that's exactly what he did in second. And third place, we got Mr. Jeremiah Burke having a great finish there as well. Right where he started there. Came back from a different strategy, little mistakes and whatnot. But either way, still a great finish for him. The 221, David Fight had a solid night as well. I know he got tangled up with Jim Ott there. That was a great battle to watch kind of through the middle stages of this race. Picking up 11 spots on the day to finish in 4th. Mike Adamson, your hard charger of the day, starting in the back, making up all those penalties and everything. 51 finishing in 5th. 11 of Eric Klafka having a solid night as well, finishing with a 6th. And the 81, Jonathan Osborne, fighting back after some pretty decent damage that he had to pit for. Ends up in 7th. And you got the 82 of Mike Everidge. Started off a little rocky, but finished off strong, up 9 spots on the day in 8th. With Dave Hot Rod Mayberry taking home a top 10 9th place finish here for Hot Rod. And rounding out the top 10 here, the 76 of Jeff Ottinger. A little all over the place, but all over the place was good enough.
2 of Tony Polk finishes right there in 11th. 74, Robert Jordan, one of those guys. He had a lot of issues out there tonight. Just a challenging track, but still able to work up 8 positions to finish right there in 12th. Earl Evans in 13 will finish 2 spots down in 13th spot. Our random draw driver tonight, Greg Dobson, north of the border up there in the 285, finishing in 14th place. Had a pretty good qualifying run, started in 5th spot, but not the finish he wanted, but at least he still finished. So Deion Jones in the 4 finished in 15th spot. Jim Ott in the 205. He was so strong, man. He was, one of those guys that was top 5, top 6. Ran into some difficulty, finishing in 16th place. Jason Ayerson in the 244. Similar situation. Pretty strong early. He'll finish in 17th place. America's driver, number 2 of Albert Anderson, giving it up early, finishing in 18th spot. But he got his penalty cleared, so he'll have a good qualifying spot for Charlotte next week. Dustin really in the 37, finishing in 19th. We know that Dustin's not a huge fan of these crazy road courses either, but Jack Dixon's going to round out your field in the 48. Jack the Ripper, he had some problems out there tonight. He had a good qualifying spot starting in 7th place. But he'll round out your field tonight in 20th spot.
And that does it here from Road America. For all those of you still watching, man, we thank you guys so much, because it's fun having you guys to hang out and talk with, especially at a track road courses like this. Because I mean, there's plenty of racing to talk about, but it makes it even more fun when you guys are involved. So we thank you all like you do every single week, as well as our great sponsors, D&D Race Graphix, Grafix. Find them on Facebook and Trading Paints. You can get a hold of Ricky there and get a good paint job, whether it's for a car or truck or a sprint car or whatever. Reach out to Ricky and I'm sure he can paint you up a pretty darn good paint, as well as his real-life world business, Keller Williams, Johnson City, Tennessee, 423-444-0454. Whether you're in that Johnson City, Tennessee area or across the country, give Ricky a call and he can help you personally, or get you in contact with one of his friendly professional realtors in whatever area you're looking for, because this market is absolutely nuts. Do not buy or sell your house alone. Get yourself a good quality realtor. So until the next time, which will be next week at Charlotte, I'm Alan Brown. For Alan English and Adam Turner, we're signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
We gone.
See ya.